Yes, you blink and it is Tuesday, and it's also your Feel Good Breakfast show. So a very good morning to you. Good morning, Wasty.
Good morning. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
I love the look today, hey?
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
Thank you so
You've seen a
much.
polo neck and it's done.
Oh, well, listen, we will sort that out. But today's show is all about our fur babies and navigating animals in different cultures to also honoring the role of a pet parent over a child parent. Now, Wasty, I know you love to leave the radio on for your fur babies, but did you leave the TV on this morning? That's the question.
You know, if I leave the TV on, the problem is that the dogs, they look for me in the house, man. And so, like, they hear my voice now. And so if I say this word, treats.
Oh,
okay, now they've gone crazy. Exactly. So I have to be very careful when I leave the TV on. But my dogs, I love them so much. Their names start with a CH. So the first one, it's Chester, then it's Chardonnay, then it's Chili, and then it's Champagne.
Oh, that is super duper cute. You know me, I'm a pet mom.
Yes.
I've got 2 black cats. I prefer black cats, so I've got my navy and my blue.
Oh, you see?
And their surname is Brown.
So navy, blue, black. Okay, wow, that's all the colors, though. And you can tell we love our pets so much. But, of course, we have to traverse all the identities of pet parents as well as pets themselves and what they mean to different communities and cultures today, which is fantastic. So we've got our pets sorted out. It's over to somebody who is just amazing and incredible, and also a pet dad.
Yeah.
Israel.
Good morning, Gamshanji. You too. I can't help it. That's my puppy voice, that's my animal voice, and you're gonna maybe hear it for the rest of this morning too, so apologies in advance, but you can't blame us, right? We're talking about pets, we're talking about the love of pets, the culture of pets too, and this morning's question is as follows. We want to know from you, were your parents big on pets, and how did that impact you? What are you doing with your lifestyle right now? Are you also incorporating pets, or has it put you off of keeping them? We want to know from you. Come through on our social media this morning. We want to know what kind of relationship you have with your animals today, and I know there's going to be some good notes coming through. For me, I have such a strong relationship with my little pups. They're like kids to me. They're my little fur babies, and they're my adventure buddies too. So I'll be talking more about Halo and Harkin in just a bit, but for now though, of course, we want to hear from you, and we have official duties that must commence. Carlitos, over to you.
Thank you so much, Rael. But of course, let's get into the news headlines from across the world. And of course, starting in South Africa. So President Cyril Ramaphosa says the latest statistics on tourists in the country are a sign that the industry is recovering significantly and rapidly. The Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, has announced that almost 5.7 million tourists visited the country last year, 150% more than in the previous year. Ramaphosa says in his weekly letter that in the first quarter of this year, more than 2 million people visited South Africa. He says the latest figures indicate a significant and speedy recovery process in the tourism industry. Now, the Eastern Cape Police have arrested 7 suspects, including 2 convicted rhino poachers who escaped from Makanda prison last year. Officers received a tip-off about a plan to steal a mobile phone tower's batteries and arrested 5 men near Tarkastad, and that was on Saturday. Now, the suspects had equipment used for housebreaking as well as some 100,000 rand in cash. The 2 fugitive prisoners were arrested at a house in Mthatha yesterday. The police say some of the suspects are linked to at least 5 incidents of rhino poaching in the Eastern Cape. Now, on to international news. The president of the mineral-rich Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, President Tshisekedi, of course, will visit China for tomorrow to Monday, during which time he is expected to meet President Xi Jinping to review and sign several key trade deals. The visit was announced by the Chinese Foreign Ministry just yesterday. The meeting could pave the way for the 2 countries to formally overhaul a seal of $6 billion infrastructure for minerals deal with Chinese investors. The DRC is the world's largest producer of battery material cobalt. It also has significant deposits of diamonds, gold, lithium, and tantalum as well. Now, the first female Arab astronaut in space has arrived at the International Space Station, the ISS. Rayana Barnawi, 34 years old, is one of 2 Saudis on the Axiom Space's 2nd private mission, which took off on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from the US on Sunday. During her 10 days in orbit, the biomedical scientist plans to carry out stem cell and breast cancer research. Upon arrival at the ISS and elated, Barnawi said, and I quote, "To the people around the world, I would like you to dream big, believe in yourselves and in humanity." And a Tanzanian teen has won the Amal Clooney Women's Empowerment Award in London for her efforts to support girls' education. The annual Prince's Trust Awards recognize young people who have succeeded against the odds, improved their chances in life, and had a positive impact on their local community. Award winner Zamana was recognized after launching her own campaign to support and encourage girls to remain at school in Tanzania through her Allow Me to Study campaign. Zamana focuses on helping schoolgirls and their parents understand the importance of completing their schooling. Every girl in my community has a dream for a future, just like girls all over the world. My dream is for more girls to remain at school, Zamana said after receiving the award in London's Theatre Royal Drury Lane. Following the ceremony, Zamana met King Charles during a reception at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the winner's achievements as well. What a great way to wrap up your first report of the morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Now, of course, more Feel Good for you when we update you on sporting action, and Ryle is standing by.
Thank you so much, Carlitos. And we head straight into our sporting action, starting with soccer news. Now, let me tell you, the heating up of the top four is going down. Newcastle claimed the point it needed to secure a top four Premier League finish with a goalless draw against relegation-threatened Leicester, whose fate is now out of their hands. Now, Eddie Howe's side failed to break the deadlock in a match they dominated, striking the post 3 times, but the result was sufficient for the Magpies to make a return to the Champions League next season. Now, Newcastle are 4 points clear of 5th placed Liverpool, heading into Sunday's final day of the season, while Leicester remain in the relegation zone, 2 points adrift of safety. Well, carrying on with soccer action right now, Juventus have been docked 10 points. Now, this following a new hearing into the club's past transfer dealings. Now, Juve were initially handed a 15-point penalty in January, but Italy's highest sporting court overturned that decision in April and ordered the case to be re-examined. The new ruling was announced on Monday before the team's game away to Empoli. Now, the penalty drops Juve to 7th place in the Serie A, outside the European qualification spots. Well, from our footballing action, we head over to some rugby news, and ahead of this weekend, some exciting stuff for locals. The Stormers have been handed a boost for the weekend's United Rugby Championship final against Munster, with the return from injury of internationals Dion Fourie and Marvin Orie. Now, the Springbok pair have both been doubts for the decider in Cape Town on Sunday, but have been back training with the squad from last week and declared fit for the final. Now, Fourie has struggled with a hamstring injury, while Orie has had issues with his shoulder. Well, next up in our sporting action, cycling news up ahead. Mark Cavendish said on Monday he will retire at the end of the season, bringing the curtain down on the career of one of the cycling's all-time great sprinters. Now, the British rider, whose 34 Tour de France stage wins are joint most with Belgian legend Eddy Merckx, will have one final chance to claim the record outright in July, when he takes part in the race one last time. Now, he has won 161 races since 2005, with 53 of those coming in Grand Tours. Well, that's the latest that I have for you when it comes to sporting action. We'll touch base in the next hour. For now, though, it's time to find out what's happening in the latest when it comes to weather.
Thanks, Ryle. Let's take a look at your weather news. Now, the South African Weather Service has warned that an intense cold front is expected to make landfall on the west coast on Thursday, affecting the southern high-lying areas of the Namakwa region in the Northern Cape and the interior of the Western Cape. The public and stock farmers are advised that cold, wet and windy conditions can be expected. A low likelihood of disruptive rainfall, that is between 30 and 40 millimeters, is possible over the mountainous areas of the Cape Metropole and the southern parts of the Cape Winelands. The Western Cape will welcome the rain as the level of the Theewaterskloof, the province's largest dam, is still well below what it was this time last year. It now stands at 59%. The Western Cape Water Supply System, which services Cape Town, also supplies water to towns in the Overberg, Boerland, West Coast and Swartland areas and provides irrigation water for agriculture as well. Now on to some of your sunrise views, starting off with Catherine out in Port Shepstone, enjoying this blissful view overlooking the ocean. Thank you for sending it over. It looks like a print on a t-shirt. I love it. Arusha and Centurion snapped this shot as the clouds are, rolling up, and it looks so, so beautiful like that. You see, nature does that, and it's gorgeous. Pat and KZN showcasing this beautiful sunlit picture rising up over the ocean. Magnificent stuff. And then Mornay and GQ capturing the beautiful warm sun as he enjoys a stroll with his dog You should tune in today, Mornay. There are some fantastic information bits for you today when it comes to pets. Now, share your morning views with us, please. 063-408-8863. We'd love to feature you on your Feel Good Breakfast show as we take a look at some of the temperatures across South Africa. Let's start in Polokwane. For you, 7 degrees Celsius this morning. 17 is what you rise to later. Bombela, 11 to 21. And then Pretoria, you've got 9 to 19. Let's go over to Johannesburg, 8 to 17 for you today, my king. I'm going to roll over to your temperatures, 8 rising to 24 degrees Celsius. Clarestorp, you can expect just 7 as you wake up, 23 a little later. Kimberley, same maximum of 23 degrees Celsius, but a very chilly low of 3 degrees. Bloemfontein, even more chilly for you, -1 degrees Celsius this morning. 20 is what you rise to a tad later. Richards Bay, your minimum is 13 today, up to 23. Pietermaritzburg, 8 to 20. Durban, 21 is your high from a low of 14. And Mthatha, you top at 21, and your minimum is 5 degrees Celsius. East London, over to you, 11, rising to 21 today. Cradock looking nice and clear today. 21 is the max from a low of 3. Gqeberha, you've got 10 to 21. And then, of course, George, you go from 9, rising to 21. Around a 2% chance of precipitation. So you're about good today. Cape Town, the mother city, 12 to 17. Worcester, 9 to 21. Sutherland, 5 rising to 17. And then Uppington, you've got a nice warm 27 on the cards from a low of 5 degrees Celsius. So chilly conditions this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show and everywhere else. Of course, I did mention that maybe a polo neck would do the trick.
You did indeed, and I've just cozied up because when it comes to knitted polo necks, it really has become popular during the 1940s and 50s when skin-tight clothing was quite the trend. Now, to this day, we all reach for a polo neck when it gets cold. I'm one of them because they are so versatile, they are timeless, and they really go with anything. So for today, since it is Tuesday, Woolies has a wide variety of polo necks, and seeing that we are about to help me complete my outfit, I want you to pick which one of these would fit my skinny jeans as well as this quilted coat. So are we going to go for option 1, this plain tan polo neck that can easily be styled up or down, really versatile? Or are we going to go for option 2, this black polo neck with featured stripes of added detail? Of course, both will go with my current outfit, my base outfit, but it's completely up to you. Are we going to go for option 1, the plain tan, or option 2, the black with the tan stripes? The choice is completely yours. So head on over to Expresso's social media pages and vote for your favorite look. And don't forget to include that hashtag Styled by Woolies.
You got it. 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 You got it from your mama. Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso and you are live on S3. Now, pets play a significant role in many societies, reflecting traditions and beliefs and the unique bond between humans and animals. Now, today we look at pet ownership and its culture within South Africa. AfriPaw Ambassador Florence Jacobs is with us, joining us for this discussion alongside AfriPaw beneficiary Israel Fredericks. And we welcome both of you to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is so good to see you. You look awake and ready to go in the morning for our pets, because, I mean, I love discussions about animals as well. And, you know, we're looking forward to finding out the cultural connections to actually, you know, being with a pet in our respective homes, because they were different to all sorts of cultures as we grew up, right?
I remember you just being younger, like, pets for us weren't about just that affection, but it was more like a security system.
That's correct.
Honestly, like the dogs outside in the yard would tell you when someone's in the road because you'd hear them, and then you'd hear the neighbors one down the road, you know, okay, someone's coming. That's why I use it.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like with pets? I mean, how was ownership and having pets as you grew up even sort of presented to you, Florence?
As a young child, I was exposed to him because my parents loved animals.
Okay, you're the lucky one.
Yeah, I was exposed to it. And I also raised him at a very young age.
Nice.
So I love animals very much.
How many do you have, if I may?
I
Do you
have three. I have three.
Okay.
I've got two dogs, Sparky and Stacy.
Sparky and Stacy,
Stacy.
okay.
And then I've got fur. I've got a beautiful furry cat.
Oh, I love those names.
Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, but Israel, of course, you're AfriPaw beneficiary. Yes. You love animals, I mean, now. I mean, the way you grew up with regard to animals, what do animals represent as you grew up versus what they are to you now?
Man, to tell the honest truth, not just now, it's always been.
Okay.
It's always been. My mom and my dad actually exposed me to, you know, the most common pets which we normally have in the house.
Yes.
Cats and dogs. And that's just never ever left me.
Okay.
Yeah, always just loved cats, dogs, actually animals in general.
And you know, you don't even have to explain yourself. Everyone understands, right?
No, how many animals do you have?
I've got one dog.
Yes.
He actually adopted me. And then
That's so true.
and then I got 5 cats.
Okay,
Only
nice.
5?
5.
Wow, so you're being
Okay.
well looked after.
Yeah.
Florence, maybe I can dive a bit deeper into this question. And this is something that I really want to like sort of get more insight into, because I was blown away when I saw what my friends were doing with their animals, the tricks and the stuff, obstacles. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
My culture, it wasn't like that. It was very different. What was yours like growing up? Your cultural beliefs in animals, the way cultures kind of represent what animals are about. What was that experience like for you? What was your culture, more or less, understanding animals to be?
For me, in my culture, as I was exposed at a very early age, so I didn't see anything different because they were like part of our family. It's
the norm.
So it's the norm for me. So we treated them like our baby brothers and sisters, so we enjoyed ourselves with them.
Okay, nice.
Well, I mean, growing up in certain areas, you know, I know that dogs represented, you know, something different, you know, as you mentioned, a security mechanism for in the yard there.
Yeah.
Like, there was never that wholesome, warm, like, I have 4 Boston Terriers now, and they live in my home. I live with them.
You live in their home.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that particular change, it's quite interesting to find out what an animal represents. So Israel, just looking at the way the neighborhoods treated animals, dogs and cats alike versus how important they are to you now. You know, what type of shift do you think is happening with people now? And how do we bring about a bit more change and respect for animals in the communities?
Man, I think basically just, how can I say, the socio-economic circumstances.
Yes.
Differs, you know, from area to area. So I think people feel differently about pets in different areas and with the socio-economic circumstances. So like people in my area, like you said, will be more into dogs for a security mechanism and things like that.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So, now the security mechanism, but of course, they're emotional security too. Let's be honest. If you look at our pets, that's what they are. And I know we need to delve a bit deeper into this and the cultural significance of pets in different communities. So, Raul and I'll be right here. If you've got any questions, you know, we've got a panel, so we'd love to answer and discuss with you. 063-408-8863.
Oh, thank you, Wasey. Well, you know what? Millennials, the generation known for their unique choices, have been opting for furry companions over the pitter-patter of tiny feet. Why is that? That is the question. Well, one possible reason is the changing dynamics of modern life. With the increasing cost of living, demanding careers, and a desire for flexibility, many millennials find solace in the companionship of pets. They offer unconditional love, emotional support, and a sense of purpose without the same level of responsibility and financial burden that comes with raising children. Or so we thought. Let's turn to the 5FM breakfast team to hear their thoughts on what they think.
Marley van Eden from 5FM Breakfast here. With me, I have Thabo Baloy and Oli Zondo. So the topic we're talking about is millennials spend a lot of money on their pets. Guys, so my initial thoughts, yes, we definitely spend too much money on pets. I mean, I always tell you guys about my sister, the 2 cats she has. They have pet insurance. When they need to go to the vet, she does anything for them. Anxiety collars. So definitely a lot of money.
And I guess the question also here would be, how much is too much, you know? We've seen this growing trend, especially on Instagram, on petfluencers, you know, and we find a lot of people on Instagram are influencing through their pets, which means that they're taking them to daycare, you know, they're having birthday parties for them. There was a reality TV show that I recently watched, you know, where the pets even arrived in a luxury vehicle, and that's all for like likes and to trend and so forth. But is it maybe that millennials are running away from this idea of having kids, you know, and having actual responsibilities other than pets?
For me, it's to each his own. If you've got the money to spend on your pet, that's great. And you provide quality health care and all kinds of recreational things. And people do that quite often. But then when you start humanizing your dog, I take a little issue with that. And look, this generation is certainly not shy about doing it. I mean, petfluencers, like you said, birthday parties.
But what's wrong with that? I feel like, you know, us millennials, obviously, we have different challenges than the baby boomers. So if we are starting a family later, if we do see our pets as our children, what is wrong with that?
But you know what else is wrong with that? You know, like what Thabo had just said now, if you do have the money, then splurge on your pets. But what we've seen in a recent survey is that people are actually taking on debt to look after their pets, you know? And for me, that is really worrying, because why are you investing so much into pets when they won't really be contributing positively to society? So at the end of the day, what is the return on investment on spending so much on pets?
Yeah, and I understand, look, you know, pets are good for your mental health and they're good for loneliness. But I'm not going to put myself into debt just so Choo-Choo can have a nice bed to stay. You know, the idea for me is still kind of foreign because of the way we were raised. But of course, we try to kind of adapt to today's society, and I guess that's the new vogue today.
I mean, look, it's weird for me as well. I don't have pets, but you guys know I love animals, especially cats. So I think employers should also start being a bit more accommodating when it comes to people and their pets. You know, I always think if it's children, employers are likely, if you need to take your child to, let's say, to school, or you need to take your child to the doctor, you know, employers, sometimes they'll be like, okay, that's fine, you can do that, I understand. But when it comes to pets, a lot of people are almost laughed at. It's like, no, but a pet, it's not the same. But I actually think, like we said, pets are children to some people. So I think employers should definitely start being a bit, they should have more empathy when it comes to people and their pets and be more accommodating.
What I like about what you said, Marley, is that pets are like children. So they are not children.
Here we go.
And as a business owner, it's a definite no. Because if you have about 7 pets in your home, how much time are you taking off from work, you know? And also with children, it's understandable, because taking a child to a clinic or a hospital or whatever, they need to see the parent that's there, you know, or someone that's like a familiar face. But with a pet, it could be your friend, it could be whoever that could take the pet to the vet or whatever the case is. So I really do not believe that we should be exercising the same rights or leniences that we afford to children to pets, because they are like children, but they are not.
But don't you think it would lead to happier employees?
I mean, definitely, you have to think about your employees' mental well-being, you know, and their mental health. But I think also we have to look at what the workplace is also trying to achieve. And it's not going to achieve that with you taking time off for a pet. You know, the workplace is already strained as it is when you are taking time off for kids and any family emergencies. Now, to compound that with pets, are we going to be working? Yeah, well, it's clear that we are a little divided here. Do you think that millennials are spending way too much on pets? From the 5 Breakfast team, we're out.
Oh, it's amazing to hear what the 5FM breakfast team think about their pets. And I mean, I'm a pet mom myself. They are literally my fur babies. But that's the theme for the show today. So stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. And of course, you're welcome to join that conversation on social media or sending us a voice note on 063 408 8863. We'll be back shortly.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and let's keep this show going on the road because I love the road we're on. I love this conversation, and I think you need to pay attention to this. We're going to continue our conversation with Afripo Ambassador Florence Jacobs and Afripo beneficiary Israel Fredericks. Now, we are discussing the unique landscape of pet ownership and the culture in South Africa. Earlier, we had a great chance just to chat about pets in general, what makes them tick, what makes us love them the most. But now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty, especially how it's impacting our communities, how it impacts us and our families too. So, guys, thank you for that earlier conversation, but let's get real right now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get real because, I mean, I see you're very, very proud. You see the apron here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And I wanted to go here for, I mean, we had a nice scene setter, but let's talk about Afripo. I hear, because, you know, I did a bit of a stalk about how you do such wonders in low-income areas, free sterilizations. Tell me a bit more about Afripo and what you represent in the community.
As you can see, our slogan says "Together for Happy Pets." So, in our local communities, is that when they come, they always like they all integrate with our communities. There's they always like to help out where they can. So, what we also do, we have our pets clinic every second Saturday in a month, which is free for our community. So then we can guide them and show them how to better take care of the animals.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
One thing about that actually blew my mind away. I had an opportunity to go and just take part and witness
Wow.
this thing.
Yes.
Wow. There are a lot of pets out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did not know how many animals and how many pets people have in the community. It blows my mind, and I hope it's for the right reasons of companionship. But Israel, maybe you can explain this to me. You've been a part of this treatment. You've been a part of these pop-up events as well. How's this impacted how you are seeing pets? How you see pets in the community and that relationship that people have with them at the moment?
Man, to tell the honest truth, from a personal level, I basically still see pets the same. Like I told you, I was brought up with pets, so nothing's really changed. But within the community and with Repo, you know, and the people's exposure to Repo and them being able to go to a clinic, to be able to provide for their pets and things, it's changed things greatly for the community, I would say. Yeah, because people have become more, I would say, caring. Yeah.
I like
that. They know they have a place that they can go to. Yeah. And get all the services that you would normally pay for free.
And that's the thing, because these things are quite expensive, right?
Yes,
it's not
it
cheap
is.
to look after
Yes, it
this
is.
animal. And then I don't think a lot of people realize when they take this on, they think about the love and the affection, but they forget about the cost. And I think that's exactly what makes a big difference here.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
So when it comes to these communities and the socioeconomics, you were mentioning this earlier, Israel, every other community, every culture has a way of dealing with pets and animals. Now, how does Repo help us humans understand animals a bit better, especially in the communities where, as we said earlier, they represent an alarm system. They are just at the back there. You kind of don't really have to feed them as long as they bark and tell you that there's danger. How do you change that perception as Repo?
What we do, we guide them and we teach them how to take care of the pets. And then what we also do, we as they come to our pets clinics, we will show them and tell them how to better treat them. And then what we also do, we also assist where we can, because when they come to our pets clinic, they get free service, they get even free food. So we know that sometimes with the socioeconomics is that some people are unemployed. So we do assist where we can.
Oh, wow. I can't be more grateful for what you're doing. Thank you so much for all the work you're putting into this, Florence. And obviously, Israel, thank you for sharing just a bit of your insight. I think this is an important conversation that we must have, especially when it comes to the cultural norms and the differences in our pets and what they mean to us. And maybe for you, Mzansi, as well, it's an opportunity for you to realize that you don't need to let your pet suffer too. There are incredible initiatives like this out there in your communities too. So your pet doesn't need to suffer. They are there to love you and provide that love. So you should do the same for them and put them on that pedestal. And can't be grateful for people like this. So Florence, Israel, thank you so much for this conversation. And we'll carry on with the pet loving in just a bit, but Zoe's got something for us right now.
In fact, we're going to carry on with the pet loving right now by taking a look at what's trending in the world of pets on TikTok. I mean, I know I'm guilty of this, but the question is, how many hours do you spend on the internet watching animal videos? Everyone loves a good pet video, whether it is a cat doing some tricks or a dog showing some affection. There really is something for everyone. And pet videos have really somewhat become a bit of an antidote for people that need a little bit of a pick-me-up. So today we are delving into the world of famous pets on TikTok, also known as petfluencers. So, gents, are you ready for this? Because I know you guys probably have your own favorites that you follow?
Yeah, I do, but I was just going to get my heart a little bit covered here because I just get emotional when I see these things.
You know, I think it's because we've tweaked to the algorithm on certain social media platforms. And now I just see Boston Terrier, Boston Terrier, Boston Terrier, Boston Terrier, Boston Terrier, cat, Boston Terrier, cat. So that's why. So
well, it's funny because my timeline's full of black cats and I'm assuming your timeline's full of huskies.
Is that happening? I thought it was just like
algorithm.
husky stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, both of you are dog dads, but this one is Nala the cat, who holds the Guinness World Record for the cat with the most followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Currently at 4.5 million. Let's take a look at Nala the cat.
What?
Oh, of course, that's why. Because now it's the best cat in the whole world.
Just chilling like this. Like standing, chilling.
That's why I will follow this cat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give a follow to this. Clearly, that's special.
So 4.5 million people are watching a cat lick something off a spoon.
No, they're watching a cat engage its core.
Yes.
Stand on its hind legs, upright with great posture, and chow a meal with class.
Gains, bro, with a cat. Gains.
I love that. Nice, well played.
Okay. Well, listen, for the dog dads, this one is for you. Is a pup who uses his social media to share his favorite food and dining experiences.
Ooh.
This is Popeye, the foodie dog. He is a former LA stray pup who now travels the world eating at pet-friendly restaurants and shares his love for food with his followers. Let's take a look.
Wow.
Oh, oui, oui. Le nounou pie. Oh.
Is it a French
It
poodle?
is a French, very beautiful terrier. It is enjoying a little bit of coffee.
I can't believe that he's literally embodied the role of what an influencer would. That's insane. Even got the outfit to match. I love it.
The dog travels more than us.
We need to step our game up here.
It hurt him, but
It is.
true, they live better lives.
Well, listen, if you're a fan of Peppa Pig, then you're going to love this next account. Farm friends, Prissy and Pop, I have to be very careful. They share what life is like as two little adorable pigs sharing life on the farm with the rest of their rescue pig group, Posy, Pink, Pen and Pigtail. They all have the little P theme, just like Wasty's dogs with the CH. And it's all about birthday parties, their outfits, and even holiday experiences. Let's check out this account.
Wow.
Oh, piggy, piggy, piggy.
Three of them in the one.
Oh, I want to give that piggy ointment.
Oh. Well, they all get a different color cake.
Just eat your bigger show.
Oh, and they all sit and wait their turn. Come on. Oh, that is cool. That is cool.
Fantastic.
Do you think their owner makes them watch Babe in the City?
I hope so. That'll
That's what
do,
you did
pig.
there.
That'll do.
And old school classic videos of Babe Ruth.
Oh, look at that. That one went straight for the whole cake.
A little piggy.
You know what that does? That makes me just want to have like oats for breakfast now.
Yeah, no.
For, like the whole week.
I'm fasting.
Yeah.
Well, gents, let's keep looking at these adorable accounts because our next account is probably the top pet influencer on TikTok. His name is Spider Monkey Winston with over 1.5 million followers. Now, the creative and entertaining Spider Monkey takes to TikTok to share their adventures and love for his other furry friends.
No way.
I want one now. I want one now, please. I want this monkey.
Oh, man.
That's basically me in the morning. If you want to see what I look like when I wake up in the morning, that's me.
I just want to take this guy on so many adventures and hikes in the mountain. Can you imagine? Oh.
But look at that.
Oh,
If you ever invited me to your pool, look at that.
Every time, have you noticed the hand every time he runs? Yeah!
It's neighing.
Yeah!
oh, Ryle,
Yeah.
we don't have that account right here, but it's called the Backpacking Kitty. And
What?
it's
Is
a
that a
black
thing?
cat
Yeah?
that goes on adventures with his owner. He goes skiing, he goes running, he goes hiking, he goes swimming. It is really, really
I feel like I'm holding my pets back after seeing these videos.
Agreed.
I need to do more.
Well, we've been looking at all the pets. We've
Yeah.
We've looked at a monkey, we've
Yes.
looked at the pig, we've looked at the cat, the dog. Last up is Jill the squirrel. Now, since being released in Hurricane Isaac, Jill has been living the soft life. She is a vegetarian and a parkour expert. Let's take a look.
Parkour!
Oh,
What?
get the squirrely. Yes. You see, how dare they call these things like rats that went to private school? No, the squirrels are beautiful.
call them that? How
No,
dare
not
It is
me.
a rat with a cute
Not me.
outfit.
I think that animal could honestly eat anything and it would just look cute. It doesn't matter what it is. They just make eating look cute.
You know what else is on my timeline, Zoe? Is otters. Like, I'd like an otter as well.
Nice.
Oh, well, there we go. I hope that was that dose of feel-good you needed for your morning. And were your parents big on pets? And how did that impact your relationship with animals today? Please share your voice notes with us. We would love to hear from you. Our number is 063 408 8863. Wow.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And we're going to call this a dog show, a pet show, because yes, that's what it's all about. We're talking about these incredible animals that serve us and give us so much joy. Now, here's another animal we want to talk about. And despite all the love and unconditional love as companions, pit bulls, have they've had a long-standing reputation. I mean, I've definitely known about it. And also controversy surrounding them, especially in South Africa, where there have been calls to ban the breed altogether. Interesting stuff. Now, South Africa has no current laws prohibiting them, and many pit bull lovers believe that their behavior is a reflection of their owners. Now, I've heard this debate, but we're going to dive straight into this conversation. So here to chat more about the breed and the proper way to train them is dog trainer at Ushan's Dog School. We've got Mariette Vergrief, and she is a founder of this NPO organization. It's something incredible, but let's find out more about pit bulls. And good morning to you. How are you doing, Vergrief?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. This is something that I know so many people have such a strong opinion about because there's been mixed emotions, mixed situations. But let's take it from the beginning. The key factors to consider when we are training a pit bull compared to any other animal. Is it different? Is it the same? What do we do?
No, it's actually the same.
The same, okay.
Pit bulls, or a lot of big dogs, big breeds, need attention, care, loads of mental stimulation. They need to work. They are independent thinking dogs. And the best way to train them is with positive reinforcement training. So that would be then force-free training, reward-based. They are very, very sensitive. That's why they can become very aggressive.
Okay.
Because they feel cornered, and the only way out is then to become aggressive.
And that's their sort of natural instinct, once put into a corner, of course, yeah.
Yeah, cornered. I mean, it's the same with us. If we get treated badly, humans, there can come a point where we will fight back.
Yeah.
So some of us flee. The same happens to pit bulls. Some fight.
Now, two awful things that I've noticed, one being seeing pit bulls in my area, in these communities, being used for fights. And then number two, also seeing them being kept in cages, chained up on their own with no sort of social cues, no sort of social engagements with these animals. Firstly, I hate to see that, and things have been changing, but unfortunately it's still going on in certain areas, and that's something we're trying to change, trying to educate people on. But more importantly, what is it that is helping the situation when it comes to pit bulls being dogs and not seen as these vicious predators? I mean, does socializing them with other animals change that behavior at all?
Yes, definitely. It's one of the most important things, is to socialize any dog, and especially big breeds and breeds like pit bulls, because they are guarding dogs. So they need loads of socialization already in the very, very early stages of their life. Unfortunately, there are dog schools who don't take puppy pit bulls. And a lot of people seeing a pit bull when they're on their walk with their own dogs will react badly towards the pit bull. So the pit bull very often gets such bad reactions and can't socialize, never learn to socialize. A pit bull that never gets walked, that is always locked up, that is used as an alarm system, is frustrated, is bored, is terrified, is very often in pain. And they get mistreated. So they react. Any dog needs affection, needs empathy, and needs to be part of a family. They want to be part of us. They are our companions. And a pit bull, for example, that is treated well, with respect and with love and with understanding, will look far better after you and your place than one that isn't cared for. You must think of the sun, the cement slabs they are on. It's so hot, you can't walk bare feet on them. Dogs, they have to lie in them. You know how
often caught in that situation all day. And I mean, this is something I think people aren't aware of. I think, for one, noticing that they do want that social environment, they do want that love. They are a pet and an animal just like any other animal. They're not this crazy working breed that just doesn't have any emotion. And I think that's something you mentioned, especially when it comes to the training, is positive reinforcement, positive reward. What can you maybe expect? And maybe we can look at a positive side of things. When it comes to training your pit bull, if you are going through that process, what sort of changes can you expect to see once that training starts to take effect, once it starts to become a positive thing and you start to build this relationship? What are the good things that you can maybe look forward to and expect from your pit bull?
Everything is awesome. As soon as you start the conversation with your dog, you suddenly start to understand each other. You communicate. You understand the body language. You say certain things, the dog will react. For example, you get an older pit bull who is maybe traumatized, who is a rescue. Don't go and take his bone away right at the beginning. It takes a long time till he will have enough trust to let you close to him when he's chewing a bone, when he's busy with certain things. Once it's like a new world. You start communicating with an animal you can't talk to really. They don't understand us. It's all white noise for them, just like their barking is more or less white noise for us. But then with positive reinforcement training, they understand, they realize you are now really, you are trying to understand them, and you do understand them suddenly, and they understand you. They become more confident, and that way they become, you have a relationship, a real relationship.
They're like a family member.
It is. It's definitely a family member.
Thank you so much for just adding light to this conversation. I think it's really important to speak about this, and especially when it comes to this breed that has taken so much negativity. It's good to know for a fact that they are just like any other dogs. They want to be stimulated, they want to work. And I think for you, Mzansi, what they require is a lot of love, positive reinforcement, and patience. And that's something that you can enforce right now. So if you are struggling with your pit bull, or if you've just gotten one and need some advice, then you can definitely reach out, and Oceans Academy will definitely be able to assist you when it comes to puppy training or anything of that sort. And you are in good hands. You can have an incredible relationship with your pet. You just got to put the work in and have that patience. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Can I say one thing, Stu?
Yes, certainly, yes.
It's the most important thing by the training or by seeing dogs, any kind of dog, is empathy. Understand what this dog is actually going through, how it does not understand a word you are saying, doesn't understand the situation you are in. And it's constantly trying to learn and to become part of your place. So have empathy, understand what this dog is going through, what it feels like.
Well, I couldn't have said it better. Empathy, invoke that within you. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raul. Oh, listen, I'm so excited that today's show is all about pets. We are here to learn, and animals, they play such an incredible role in our lives, bringing joy, companionship, and unconditional love.
So Cholera, together with the Crazy Store, recently visited the Animal Anti-Cruelty League in Johannesburg to shine a light on the importance of giving animals loving homes and incredible work that they have done, of course, the AACL. Let's take a look.
The Animal Anti-Cruelty League have been committed to eliminating and preventing animal cruelty over 6 decades. From providing shelter for animals who have been abandoned to providing efficient adoption programs, amongst many other offerings. They strive to ensure that every animal receives the care and attention they need. Our friends at the Crazy Store have partnered up with the AACL, and we are here at one of the branches at Regent's Park in Johannesburg to find out more. Rena, it's always so amazing to see big companies like the Crazy Store contribute to communities and non-profits. Please tell us more about why the Crazy Store decided to partner with AACL.
Partnering with the AACL was a natural choice. They've got branches across the country, just like Crazy Store. At the Crazy Store, we absolutely love our furry friends. We have 469 stores and counting, with each store having a beautiful pet department full of everything that any pet could want or need. We also are very proud of our Best Buds pet food, which was manufactured for us, especially by Montego. So we know that it's a quality product, and we know that all the animals here at the AACL could benefit from eating this delicious dog food.
Karen, 67 years of doing incredible work here at AACL. Talk to us about some of the driving forces that has kept a non-profit like this alive for so long.
I think the last 67 years has been challenging, but it's been very rewarding. The staff that have worked here over the years and the current staff, we're passionate about what we do. We're passionate about animals and the welfare of animals in the community.
Education, mobile clinics just seem to scratch the surface of what you offer here at AACL. Please tell us more about some of the other programs that you offer.
So we've got a couple of different programs. Our Paw Academy is our training facility. It's for children, for adults, for animals. It trains on all levels. We have our Freedom Village, which is for cats, so the cats stay in an open community there. But we also have our Old Age Village, our senior dogs and cats. They're a little bit more gentle, and they play together a little bit more gently, or they're happy just to sleep and just while away the time while they wait for being adopted out.
I consider myself a dog person, but I have to say, what pulled at my heartstrings has to be the cats. They were so chilled, laid back, relaxed, and so welcoming of me. Now I might just consider getting a cat.
In April, we launched a iced oxtail biscuit for pets, and all our dogs seem to love this biscuit. So we thought, what better way than to give 10% of the sales of each biscuit that gets sold back to the AACL.
I think it's incredible that companies like the Crazy Store partner up with nonprofits such as AACL, because not only does donations and giving back contribute positively toward our greater community, but it inspires us as everyday citizens to do what we can to contribute small actions for a bigger impact. You guys truly do some incredible work here. I'm pretty sure our viewers, including myself, want to know, how can we get involved?
I think there's a couple of different areas. I think finances are also always sort of nice to have, but if people just want to pop in and start volunteering here, that's great. Signing a debit order, donating food, treats, toys for the animals, we will always graciously take that, absolutely.
I must admit, today was truly heartwarming. It's so comforting to know that the AACL and the Crazy Store are making a positive impact. From buying pet products to adopting a pet, making a difference has never been this accessible. Now, one thing I learned today is that the smallest actions have the biggest impact.
I just want to make some awesome memories with them. That is so cute.
It's like a pouring of my love to them. It is amazing how even the simplest of actions can have such a significant impact on an animal's life. It's
definitely. Now, whether it's purchasing dog biscuits or opening your heart to welcome a new furry friend into your home, every positive action improves their quality of life and providing them with the joy that they deserve.
Come in with a little, leave with a lot. The Crazy Store has a whole range of stuff bound to surprise and delight the whole family.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, it's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome back and welcome to a show that we are just dedicating to animals. It's official. Our fur babies are here for it and we're putting them on the pedestal.
We are. And you know, earlier I mentioned to you there's a really cool account called the Backpacking Kitty. So the kitty's name is Simon. He is an adventure cat. He swims, he kayaks, he rock climbs, he hikes. He is probably the coolest cat that you would want in your life. Just take a look at this cat. Like going kayaking with his dad.
Oh, he swims.
He rides bicycles.
Oh my word.
He goes hiking.
What?
He has a little harness on.
This has changed everything I thought about cats. What do you mean?
And he's a black cat.
Oh my word. What? I thought it was gonna be like the CGI thing where it was just like, the cat's legit. Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
He is so cool.
I didn't know cats were even about that. I thought they were just lazy and love to eat like food and stroke you. I might need to get me a cat, take him on an adventure too.
How
Look at this.
Is that? I mean, you know, my algorithm on social media is all about black cats. I came across this account. I absolutely love it, and I recommend anyone that wants to, you know, just fill their timeline with beautiful things.
Yeah. Maybe you can do the same, Mzansi. Let us know if you've maybe stumbled upon an account that is just really giving you all the feels, and maybe you've even got some pictures of your own pets and your own animals. That's what we want to know from you. Come through on our socials, share that advice with us, and also what your pet means to you, and maybe what's going on in your hood when it comes to pets. For now, though, it's time to kick off with official duties, and Carlitos is standing by.
I love how a husky person became a cat person in one video. That's the best thing ever. But let's get into the news, shall we? Starting nationally, presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya is emphatic that South Africa has done nothing to compromise its neutral stance regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Magwenya said the visit by the Minister of Intelligence, Kumbutso Shaveni, to Moscow is meant to prepare for a planned peace mission by 6 African leaders to Eastern Europe. Other officials have been deployed to Ukraine. Meanwhile, naval exercise between South Africa, Russia and China in February, and recent visits to Moscow by an ANC delegation as well as Army Chief Lieutenant General Lawrence Mbata have raised questions regarding South Africa's neutrality. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the latest statistics on tourists in the country are a sign that the industry is recovering significantly and rapidly. The Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, has announced that almost 5.7 million tourists visited the country last year, 150% more than in the previous year. Ramaphosa says in his weekly letter that in the first quarter of this year, more than 2 million people visited South Africa. He says the latest figures indicate a significant and speedy recovery process in the tourism industry. On to international news. Portuguese police will today search a reservoir inland from where British 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared in 2007. In the first formal development in the case in Portugal in several years. Police were preparing to start searches today at a dam in the southern region of Algarve, about 50 kilometers inland from a beach resort where Madeleine went missing. The operation was being carried out at the request of German authorities, who last year formally identified a German, Christian Bruckner, as an official suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine. Now, the president of the mineral-rich Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, will visit China from tomorrow to Monday, during which time he's expected to meet President Xi Jinping to review and sign several key trade deals. The visit was announced by the Chinese Foreign Ministry yesterday. The meeting could pave the way for the two countries to formally overhaul and seal a $6 billion infrastructure for minerals deal with Chinese investors. The DRC is the world's largest producer of battery material cobalt. It also has significant deposits of diamonds, gold, lithium, and tantalum. A US researcher has broken the world record for the longest time spent living underwater without depressurization. Professor Joseph Deturi, 55, at South Florida University, has spent more than 80 days in a small room known as Jules's Undersea Lodge at the bottom of a 40-meter deep lagoon in the Florida Keys. He aims to stay in the lodge for at least 100 days. The curiosity for discovery has led me here, he said. He added that his goal from day one has been to inspire generations to come, interview scientists who study life under the sea, and learn how the human body functions in extreme environments. The previous world record for most days spent living underwater, 73, was established by two professors in 2014 in the same Key Largo Lodge. It's named after Jules Verne, author of the well-known sci-fi book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's it for your news right now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Another update in 1 hour, but let's take a peek at the sport. Here's Raul.
Thank you so much, Carlitos. Yes, let's take a look at sporting action right now and over to soccer news now. Newcastle claimed the point needed to secure a top 4 Premier League finish with a goalless draw against relegation-threatened Leicester, whose fate is now out of their hands. Now, Eddie Howe's side failed to break the deadlock in a match they dominated, striking the post 3 times, but the result was sufficient for the Magpies to make a return to the Champions League next season. Now, Newcastle are 4 points clear of 5th place Liverpool heading into Sunday's final day of the season, while Leicester remain in the relegation zone, 2 points adrift of safety. Well, sticking to soccer news right now, Juve have been docked 10 points. Now, this following a new hearing into the club's past transfer dealings. Now, Juve were initially handed a 15-point penalty in January, but Italy's highest sporting court overturned that decision in April and ordered the case to be re-examined. Now, the new ruling was announced on Monday before the team's game away to Empoli. Now, the penalty drops Juve to 7th place in the Serie A, outside the European qualification spots. Well, from our soccer news, we head over to rugby action and something that will definitely excite the locals. The Stormers have been handed a boost for the weekend's United Rugby Championship final against Munster, with the return from injury of internationals Dion Fourie and Marvin Uri. Now, the Springbok pair had both been doubts for the decider in Cape Town on Saturday, but have been back training with the squad from last week and declared fit for the final. Now, Fourie has struggled with a hamstring injury, while Uri has had issues with his shoulder. Lastly, in our sporting news, cycling action right now, and Mark Cavendish said on Monday he will retire at the end of the season, bringing the curtain down on the career of one of cycling's all-time great sprinters. Now, the British rider, whose 34 Tour de France stage wins are joint most with Belgian legend Eddy Merckx, will have one final chance to claim the record outright in July when he takes part in the race one last time. Now, he has won 161 races since 2005, with 53 of those coming in Grand Tours. Incredible stuff indeed, and that's all I have for you when it comes to sporting action. We'll touch base in an hour. For now, there's time to find out what's happening the latest when it comes to your traffic.
If you are still heading to work, here's what's ahead of you. Let's start in Oakland's KZN. There has been an accident with a tow truck and an oncoming vehicle. Please approach this area with caution. If you are passing by, do stay safe and avoid rubbernecking. And then let's go to Cape Town, Mowbray. There is a stationary vehicle on the N2 inbound at Rappenburg. The right lane is currently closed, so please approach that area with caution. That's all I have for you for now. Let's take a look at the weather. Now let's start with weather news. Authorities in Mexico have raised the yellow phase 3 alarm, one step below red alert for the Popocatépetl volcano after it has belched smoke, ash and molten rock into the sky. Now, the Popocatépetl is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, as approximately 25 million people live within a 100-kilometer radius. The next step, which is a red alert, sets off mandatory evacuations. A series of powerful eruptions from the Popocatépetl in the past few days have compelled authorities to suspend both public and private school classes across 22 towns. Meanwhile, Europe's most active volcano, Mount Etna in Italy, also began erupting on Sunday morning, spewing ashes far and wide, with many houses and cars in Catania city covered in a layer of dark, gritty dust. The last major eruption of the 3,330-meter high volcano located on the east coast of Sicily was in 1992. On to some of your sunrise views, and Owen, we'll start with you in Lakeside, snapping this beautiful and delightful photo with some pastel colors, looking like an art piece over there. Once again, I feel like it's AI, but that's real. Now, Christine in Free State sharing this one, a view of the grey clouds keeping warm out there. Hopefully, Christine, thanks for sending that over. Azalea in Pearly Beach enjoyed these calming pink hues before starting her day, and of course, sending that over to your Feel Good Breakfast show. And then last up, Verity Barnes sent in a video watching the sunrise in Riebeek West enjoying the breeze this morning and those violet tones as a new day starts, a new day filled with positivity and all of your goals achieved. That's what that video represents, I hope. Now, you can share your sunrise views, and yes, we accept videos as well. 063-408-8863. We'd love to see how you wake up anywhere in South Africa and even beyond as we get into some of your temperatures across your beautiful country. Now, starting off in Polokwane, 7 is how you start this morning, rising up to 17 degrees Celsius. Bombela, you've got 11 to 21. Pretoria, 9, rising to 19. And then Joburg, you've got 8 in the cards, and you jump to 17 degrees Celsius. Mahikeng, for you, 8 to 24 today. Klerksdorp, 7 to 23. And then Kimberley, 3, rising to 23 degrees Celsius. Bloemfontein, -1, very chilly this morning. You do thaw out to 20 a tad later. Let's head on over to Richards Bay, 13 up to 23 degrees Celsius. Pietermaritzburg, couple of clouds in the sky, but 8 to 20 when it comes to temperature. Durban, 14, rising to 21. Umtata, you've got 5 in the cards this morning. 21 is how you rise. East London, let's head on over to you. Emonti, you can expect 11 as you wake up this morning, 21 this afternoon. Cradock, just 3, but you're up to 21 a little later. Gqeberha, you've got 10 to 21, and then George, 9, rising to 21 degrees Celsius. The mother city, Cape Town, over to you. 12 to just 17 today, so quite chilly. Worcester, 9 to 21. Sutherland, 5 to 17, and then Uppington, 5, rising to a pretty warm 27 degrees Celsius. That's it for the traffic as well as the weather news, the sunrise views and your temperatures. And let's find out if those temperatures have inspired a good old Polar Nick.
Ah, I see what you did there. Yes, indeed, we put it up to you, Mzansi, because it is Tuesday. And we were asking you earlier to help Zoe find out what she's going to wear between these two Polar Necks. So we had 2 options that we sent your way and wanted to find out what they were in terms of the winner. So option 1 was a plain tan Polar Neck, and option 2 was a black Polar Neck with featured stripes, right? So you can see it on the board right now, and it looks like the vote is in. We've got a winner. It looks like the black with stripes is definitely the winner with this one, with a whole 60%. And of course, we've got some comments to go along with it, just to see why people are voting for this one. So Shireen Ebrian says, good morning, Zoe and the team. Happy Tuesday. I choose option 2 for Zoe. It would be great with the rest of her outfit to complete her look. Have a super day, team. Lots of love. I see what you did there. K. Rona Kruger also says option 2 in the house. So it looks like there's a lot of people voting for this one. We've got Yasmina Solomon also coming through saying, good morning, Expresso team. Second one, Zoe. Have a fabulous Tuesday. And then Nishi Son Paul says, good morning, beautiful Zoe. I prefer the black stripe. All right, well, it looks like we have a winner indeed, and we have all the reasons why. So let us bring in our beautiful model, Zoe.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I love Tuesdays because you really do come through with the best options.
What do you think of this?
So I'm loving this. And I mean, we are pairing it with this quilted jacket that has got that, you know, that tan color coming through.
Yeah.
The black really pops underneath this. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of the polo necks that's on offer. But this one really works for my outfit today, especially the fact I'm also got black boots on.
Yeah, I think it's
the
not only just functional, but you really look like you could go to any event. You could style this down or up. It doesn't matter. I think it just works perfectly. So I don't know if it's because of Zoe, because of you, Mzansi, but I don't know. This all works and it's come together beautifully. So thank you. I think we sorted this one out, and it's time for you to shop timeless and versatile Polar Necks at Woolworths. And it's, of course, available in-store, online, and on the app. I mean, look how good you could look. Come on. Yeah. Now, we're done with our flaunting, but we got to give you some hype, because after the show, don't go anywhere. Sorry, after this ad break, because we've got so much reason for you to stick around. Of course, we are talking about something crazy. Repo rates are increasing. What are we going to do? What does this mean for the household? We're going to find out. And on top of that, there's a cholera outbreak happening in Tshwane, and we've got the mayor in town. He's going to be discussing this. We're going to find out more and, of course, not let you go anywhere. We'll see you just after this.
Making an iced cappuccino with thick creamy froth is now impressively easy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Now, the number of people who died amid a cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria, has risen to more than 15, according to the Gauteng Health Department. Now, Mayor Cholera Brink visited the area yesterday and was met by protesting residents who said they did not recognize any government officials.
So the mayor joins us on the line now to chat more about the outbreak and, of course, what the city's plans are in dealing with the situation. Naturally, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we care dearly about these types of issues and we'd like to get you some answers. And that's why we have the mayor on the line. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you doing?
Good morning, Carl. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic, thank you. We are looking to ask the hard questions, but it's vitally important because the situation is at a point where the entire country is concerned. So can we start off with, how did it get to this point where the tap water is so unsafe to drink?
Well, Carl, first of all, it's very important that we first determine the source of the cholera outbreak. There's been a lot of speculation, people assuming that it is the tap water. Yesterday, the results came through of various tests that the city did on Saturday on water sources in the timber supply area, including reservoirs, fire hydrants, schools, and streams. And those tests, in fact, came out as negative for cholera and lethal levels of E. coli. So we have to cast our net wider. We've shared this information with Gauteng health authorities. Now, that does not mean that the water in Temba is safe for public consumption. As you know, the city warned for months that due to problems at the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant, folks should not treat their tap water in the Temba area as safe. And that's why water tankers are provided and guidance is provided on how to treat that water. And we can speak about that long-standing issue of Hammanskraal water. But the important point is not to assume where the cholera comes from, because until we've determined that, we will not be able to effectively contain the situation.
I hear you, Mayor. Now, Mayor, I know yesterday you visited the area. Do you have a response to what the community, the community that chased officials away yesterday?
Well, I think it's important just to understand the situation on the grounds. Very often there is protests and violence by a small group of people, and then the tendency is to say the community did this or the community did that. Essentially, yesterday's 20 people that prevented me from entering the Jubilee Hospital were a political renter crowd. There was councillors there. It was a politically staged type of show. Unfortunately, they attacked my protection officers and my staff, and they effectively prevented me from meeting with the deputy ministers. Luckily, two members of my team, the member for the mayoral committee for utility services as well as health, Tembafosi and Rina Marx, were there already. So our job wasn't prevented from being done. At the same time, Zoe, I do understand the frustration and the anger of the community about the long-standing issue around water, as well as the deaths from cholera and the need for us to contain it. But I truly think that most community members would want the mayor, the other public officials to answer questions, to examine the situation, instead of blocking their entry to do their work.
It's very sad that these types of things, when it comes to the health of people, have to be politicized. But I know that everybody needs to stick together at this particular stage. But the big question is, are there plans in place from the city to be able to combat the spread of this bacteria? Is there enough infrastructure, enough information? How are we going to actually combat the likes of this and, of course, its spread?
So as I mentioned, priority number one is to detect the source, to isolate it, and then to prevent the spread. We're working with Gauteng health authorities to make available as much treatment capacity as possible. Obviously, the Jubilee Hospital is a provincial facility, but the city has tertiary healthcare responsibilities. We're assisting with the distribution of pamphlets to inform the community of the risks around cholera, the importance of hand hygiene, the importance of not consuming the tap water around the Temba area, but instead to use the water supplied by water tankers, and various other practical public health information is being distributed by the city. My colleague responsible for health in the city, Rina Marx, is a healthcare professional, and she has really been instrumental in assisting the province. So from the city side, we are doing everything possible to contain the situation, but obviously this is a project where all spheres of government will have to do their part, and I think at present the situation is being managed as well as it possibly could. There is a joint operational command center in place, a disaster management declaration 3, which means we're monitoring and evaluating the situation. The different spheres of government are communicating with each other, and where there's assistance needed by the families, including the victims of, or the survivors of those who passed away, the city will give all necessary support.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us this morning and shedding some advice, encouraging the public not to drink the tap water in the Temba area. And thank you for also just showing us that the city of Tshwane is doing things and making sure that citizens are safe. So thank you so much for your time this morning and shedding some light on the situation.
Thanks very much, Zoe.
Thank you so much to the Mayor. And of course, let's shed some light onto other communities doing some great work.
Yeah, let's do exactly that on the topic of health. Let's talk about our health professionals and do that right now. Now, this is our opportunity to say thank you to those brave healthcare workers that are absolutely doing the most. Now, this one is brought to you by Adcock Ingram's OTC sponsors of Brave. And this week, we are looking at the pharmacy called Umlatuze. And this one is in KZN. Let's check it out.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
Why the community is so important for us as Umlatuze Pharmacy Group is because we are all in this together as a community, together serving their healthcare. It is important for us to be able to look after the healthcare needs of our patients. We see their children and their grandmothers, we see what's happening through their life. So it is important for us to take care of their healthcare needs as much as possible. We are a group of 6 pharmacies owned by Mr. Taffy Creel. We serve the community of Empangeni, Richards Bay and Mtunzini. So it's quite a broad area that we are able to service healthcare-wise.
Nothing beats knowing that you're making a difference and also you're contributing. So that's the main reason why I chose to serve the community. So my job mainly is to ensure that they get the correct medication and also advise them on the correct usage of medicine and also medical devices as well. Knowing that you're getting service from someone who cares about you and also someone who's able to be there, not just treat you with medicine, but also be able to listen and be there for you holistically. I think that's very important. So them living with a smile is more than enough for me because it shows it's a sign of hope and also gives them faith that they're going to be okay.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
Did you know that almost 1 in 5 South African adults suffer from chronic pain? Try new ActivePatch pain relief technology at the push of a button. It's easy to use and can be worn 24/7. Proven to relieve muscle and joint pain, low back and neck pain, arthritic pain, pain from sports injury, plantar fasciitis, and more. Easy to use drug and sensation-free pain relief at the push of a button. ActivePatch, long-lasting pain relief. Ask your pharmacist about ActivePatch now.
Oh, absolutely love it. Now, thank you again. Thank you, honestly, to all our local pharmacies doing amazing things for their community. We are here for it and we absolutely appreciate you.
Stand your best chance of beating colds and flu this winter and being one of 2 winners of 5,000 rands each with Corenza Paracy. To find out how the triple effect of Corenza Paracy makes it an essential on your shopping list this autumn and how you can win 5,000 rands in cash, catch Expresso from the 15th to the 18th of May and again the 22nd to the 25th of May and manage cold and flu symptoms this winter. Simply reply to the competition posts on the Expresso social media pages using hashtag Corenza Paracy and hashtag BeatWinterFlu. T's and C's apply.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, it's all about our pets today. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And yes, we love our pets and we want the best for them, but with some misinformation flooding the internet and mixed advice from friends, it can sometimes be very overwhelming. Now, here with us today, we have Karis Nafty alongside Sam to talk to us about what is poisonous to our cats and dogs and how to treat them. Of course, we need to keep in mind some of the plants we have in the house, some of those household chemicals. So, Karis, it's so great that you can join us.
Good morning. Happy
Both
to
of
be
you,
here.
actually.
Yes,
Good
well,
morning.
Sam's the most important one. I'm just,
Yes,
you know.
Sammy, hello. Listen, I've just gone through something very scary and I'm still trying to figure out what it was with my animal, and potentially it could have been a plant, something in the household, I don't know. We're trying to still figure that out. So let's figure this out together maybe. Let's start in the household. What is it when it comes to household products or anything in the household that we use that could potentially be poisonous to our animals? Is there anything to look out for?
There's lots of things.
Oh, no.
for-
Oh,
lots
no.
of things.
Okay.
So look, certainly anything non-edible that an animal shouldn't eat, you have
Right.
to be cautious of. But specific things that often cause poisoning problems for dogs are things like fertilizer for the garden, believe it or not, can be poisonous for the dogs. Rat and mouse poison, which is obviously meant to be palatable. A lot of dogs eat that and cats and end up getting sick from that. Snail poison, things like bleach, any sort of cleaning chemicals. Mothballs are poisonous to dogs.
Yeah.
So anything like that that's meant to, there we go, Sam, basically clean up the house or affect the garden in terms of chemical things can all be poisonous to animals. So it's really, really important that you have to look at everything through the eyes of the dogs. It might be remotely edible, and keep your dog away from all of those kind of things.
So, for someone that perhaps now has an animal and they're freaking out, where's a great place to find out about the alternatives? So instead of using bleach, what else can we use instead of using fertilizer? Are there, information sources where we can go to make sure that we have the pet-friendly chemicals or products in the house?
So I think it's not necessarily realistic to get all pet-friendly chemicals. I think the best way to start is to dog-proof your house. So there might be pet-friendly alternatives, which you can certainly check on the internet. Some natural shops might have things. But the safest thing to do is make sure that things are completely locked away from the animal. You never want to leave, especially a dog, bless them, unattended, where they could possibly chew on a bottle and rip something open. If something's got an interesting taste, dogs will chew on stuff and they'll explore things with their mouth. So, you can check out all the natural health shops, but the best thing to do is to keep any sort of
done with this
household. So
interview,
he's done.
is
He's
that
bored now. He's like, I'm gonna lie down now, Sam. Yes.
Oh, you wanted tickles. You wanted tickles.
Oh, Sam's just making himself at home, guys. Excuse us. There we go.
I love it. I wish I could just roll around on the carpet like you.
Well, Karis, I mean, we also, if we go into our garden, I think a lot of people have plants that they might not even realize are poisonous to their animals. Are you able to name some of these that we can perhaps, that are a bit common that we might not know of?
Yes. So the most common, interestingly, the most common dangerous plant that I have to work with people about are lilies. So there's often those beautiful cut flowers.
lily.
Beautiful lilies are very toxic to dogs and cats. A lot of cats, like if you put a beautiful vase of lilies on your table, will go and chew on them and munch on the flowers, and that can be poisonous.
Is it the flower only or the leaves? Because I literally have lilies growing in my garden.
Yes, exactly.
Should I pull it out? What should I do?
I don't know. Yes, maybe pull it out. I would fence it off from your dogs, because if they do eat the flowers, it can be toxic. Yeah.
All right.
So lilies is the most common problem. Delicious monsters, those big, beautiful green leaves. Those are actually toxic to dogs and cats, but they're not very palatable. So most of them don't eat it. But if you have a dog, like some dogs are gardeners. I'm putting that's a nice way to say it. Some dogs chew up in the garden. So if you have a dog that is prone to just eating lots of stuff, you have to be vigilant with things like delicious monsters, syringa trees, chrysanthemums, rhododendrons. All of these things are poisonous to dogs. So it's really, really smart. If you have a beautiful garden, do some Googling, do some checking it out. Very often, very pretty flowers are toxic because that's how they protect themselves in nature, is they don't taste, they're dangerous to animals if they eat them. A lot of our most beautiful flowers, unfortunately, are not safe for animals.
I have 8 delicious monsters.
Oh.
But they're not gardeners, so
But they're not gardeners. Yeah. So I have them in my house too, but my dogs don't chew on those plants. So you just have to be aware of it, but you don't have to rip everything out. But you have to know your animal. animals. You have to know, like, if a guest, you know, a friend with a dog comes over with a puppy that's going to be chewing on stuff, you just always have to pay attention.
Yeah. All right. This is making sense. We're getting there, and this is educational indeed, and this conversation is going to continue before this happens. Oh, stand by.
This right here is a talent. On your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we welcome young and emerging Afro jazz musician Kakamba Nchika on the Expresso stage. Some of you might know her for her gratifying debut single, Umakondana. Let's give her a massive Feel Good welcome, Kakamba! Yes! Yes, you see that? I paid all of those people for this moment. They are all well paid for that applause, but welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's so nice to have you. I've heard the sound check, and I'm very, very excited to...
Thank you so much for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be here together with my band. Yeah, it feels good to be here.
First and foremost, how many people call you Q?
Lots and lots of
really?
people.
Because they don't like the 2 clicks, eh?
Yes.
That's it.
They don't like the 2 clicks. I think their tongues are too soft.
No, I like it. Yeah, I think the attempt is more important than anything else. But you've attempted this music thing, and it must have started somewhere. So tell me a bit more about how you got into the industry and why you chose Afro jazz as your path.
So basically, I started singing at church. I'm a pastor's kid.
Oh, yeah.
So it all started at home and in church. And then from there, I was introduced to music from Tatu Hugh Masekela, may his soul rest in peace.
Wow.
I was introduced to Sis Simpiwe Dana, Miriam Makeba, and I fell in love with the sound. And yeah, I'm just carrying on from where they are and left off.
It's a lot of responsibility to take on yourself if you think about that now.
So basically, like, I started even like writing my own music from 2011 till now. And it's been a great journey, and yeah.
So let's talk about this single we're about to hear. It's Umakondana, which is, what does that mean for those who don't speak?
Umakondana basically means soulmate.
Okay.
If I actually get into why I wrote the actual song,
yes,
the song was inspired by the love my parents have for each other and their love story on how they actually found one another. So I was inspired by that, and I was like, we need love in our society. Every one of us needs that special someone in their life to actually do life with, and that's how the song came about.
Wow, I'd love to hear the song. I'm actually ready for it. So, now performing her well-known debut single, Umakondana. Here is Kakamba on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Oh my God, now oh my God, now
Are you the face? We're looking for 3 fabulous women to be the face of Gynagard. Win a Fiat 500, 50,000 Rand cash, CoverGirl status, and so much more. To enter, buy and try any Gynagard product and tell us about it at faceofgynagard.co.za. You could be the one.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Welcome back. And we are joined again by pet custody mediator and certified dog behavior consultant, Karis Nafty. She is here to ensure us that it's not all doom and gloom when it comes to pets and poisonous ingredients around our house, that there are indeed treatments and precautions that we can take to ensure our furry friends are in good hands from the get-go.
Yeah, now we found out earlier that there are a few things that could present potential risks in the house and outside in the garden. But let's talk about what happens if a dog is in that situation and may have had or consumed poison, and not even a dog, a cat, or any pet for that matter. What are some of the, let's say, signs and symptoms to maybe look out for? And is there this possibility that a dog could maybe be allergic to something as well? Is that possible?
Definitely. So there's two, a body can react to anything. It can be an allergen. So some dogs and cats are allergic to certain kind of foods.
Okay.
And that will typically show up in itchy skin. That's the most common symptom of a food allergy, is like chronic foot infections or ear infections. But anytime an animal is itching a lot, something is not right. They either have a flea issue, but it's most likely a food allergy. So allergies is definitely a thing that can happen for lots of animals. And then in terms of poisons, poison is a different thing. Poison is something toxic that would be toxic to any animal. And the signs of that are things, the most common sign is that your dog gets super tired, or your cat. Suddenly they're just like laying down on the floor like a puddle. Drooling is always a bad sign. It means something is wrong with the dog's stomach. If they've suddenly got diarrhea, if they're suddenly throwing up a lot, and they're just acting very, very unwell, suddenly scratching their stomach can be a sign. I mean, it's really sad when you see it happening. If any of those signs are happening to your dog, take them to the vet immediately. Don't wait. By the time a poison gets in a dog's system or a cat's, it's sometimes been there for a few days. So what people have to understand about a dog eating a poisonous substance is it doesn't show up immediately. It can sometimes take 3 or 4 days for it to show itself in the system. So by the time your dog is showing symptoms of this, or your cat, you got to get them to the vet straight away. It's not like they're going to eat the poison and then 2 minutes later necessarily show any symptoms of that.
Great advice. Thank you for that.
And what should you do as a pet owner, you know, if you suspect your animal's been poisoned before you take them to the vet?
So the first thing to do is to try to figure out what it was, so you can give that information to the vet. Different substances do different things to a dog's body or a cat's body. So look around the house, look anywhere the dog has been, look in the garden for chewed plants or chewed up packages in the house. That's the first thing you should try to do. What you should not do, and this is so important for viewers, is don't try to make your animal vomit unless the vet tells you to. Because with certain poisons, if you make your animal vomit, it can make them more sick. So it's not one of those, oh, just make the dog vomit. Definitely not. So get the dog as quickly as you can to a vet. If the vet isn't in your area, call one, but you need to get medical advice to figure out what the exact treatment needs to be for the dog. And most important, try to figure out what the poison was, because that will save a lot of time at the vet. Then they don't have to try to figure it out themselves.
Nice. Okay. What sort of like treatment would you experience? Is it quite a rough sort of situation that you have to go through with the animal, or is it kind of all the same when it comes to poisons?
I think it's very different depending on what the poison is doing to the dog's body. So the first thing a vet will do is they'll try to stabilize the animal. So it's they usually will take the animal away from you and work on them in the back. Most animals end up on some kind of a drip, but it's very, very different depending on what part of the body is reacting to it. Some poisons can send animals into organ failure, which is a very intense treatment. Some animals just need, you know, a bit of allergex and to have a good toilet trip, and then they're fine. So it depends on how much of the poison they ate. Depends on how big the animal is. If a Chihuahua eats a little bit of poison, it can be a big problem, whereas if a Rottweiler does, maybe not so much. So it depends on the size of your animal, depends on how much they ate and what it actually was. But don't wait going to the vet. Don't wait and see and think about it. If you suspect something wrong, it probably is wrong.
I like that advice.
Karis, what are some of the precautions we as pet owners can take in the house to make sure that our pets are safe?
So first of all, assume if your animal can eat something that they will.
Okay.
Just assume. Assume worst case scenario. Dogs can figure out how to open cupboards. So in the same way you might baby-proof a house, like closing cupboard doors, if you have a very busy, enthusiastic, inquisitive, clever dog, okay, those dogs are such fun, and they're trouble.
They're naughty.
They're naughty. Those are the dogs who will open cupboards and pull things out. So secure your cupboard doors if you've got a dog that could possibly physically open it. Assume your dog would jump on a counter. So if there's something tasty that smells good up on a counter, your dog could jump up. I had to help a client the other day who had a poodle who jumped on the counter and ate a bowl of xylitol, which I forgot to mention earlier. Xylitol, we know it's that sugar substitute. It's fine for us, super poisonous for dogs, okay? So anything tasty, if your dog can eat it, they will. So look through those eyes, and you have to physically secure your property. And don't ever put your animal in a situation where they can eat something they shouldn't. And when it comes to cats, cats can jump everywhere. If cats can get into something, they can. So look from a little house panther point of view and physically block them off from anything dangerous. That's just the safest way to do it.
Absolutely incredible advice, Grace. Thank you so much. Thank you for always joining us and educating us when it comes to our furry animals, our pets, the ones that we love so much. And I think this has really given us some insights. And for you, Mzansi, too, giving your pets the best is sometimes easier than you think. I mean, if you listen to this, you'll know why. By thinking and keeping the cleaning supplies locked up and paying attention to what your pet is eating, you can ensure your pets live a long and healthy life.
Well, Karis Nafti, thank you so much for joining us once again. And thank you, Samuel.
Oh,
you've been a good boy. What is it about adults that go all cutie cute to that animal?
Hi, come.
Yeah, that's what happens. When there's a dog at studio, suddenly the voices change, they get a bit lighter. And we had a question for you. Now, were your parents big on pets, and how did that impact your relationship with animals today? It's a very, very good question because, our parents is how we modeled our understanding of animals. But let's take a look at your answers here. Now, Vivian said, yes, growing up, always had animals, and I have always had pets. My grandchildren love animals, and especially horses. Put me amongst animals, wild or domestic, and I am content. They are my happy place. My first Goldie Bailey was a therapy dog, and I learned so much from this four-legged angel. Oh, Muda man. See, I'm starting to get the pet voice as it goes along. Now, Nadine saying, good morning, y'all. I grew up with all breeds of dogs all my life. As long as I can remember, we always had a dog, as my dad was as much of a pet lover as me. And now I've discovered the Frenchie breed. Oh, here it comes. And I'm 100% in love. Our pets were never just pets, but part of the family, which slept on our beds. Preach. That's what they are. We actually live with them. They don't really live with us. And last one coming in here, Mark, might be more. Love German Shepherds. Intelligent, protective, and fun to dress up for game days. That's what I'm talking about. And there's some big games coming up as well. So we're going to need every person and animal to make sure we get behind the Bokke this year, of course, as they hit the World Cup. So that is how we've asked the question. If you want to continue asking, please, answering, please do so. 063-408-8863. You can feature your pet as well. Why not? We are in a pet mood today, so make sure that you stay with us. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Who's so good person?
Wasty. Oh, listen, imagine if we had to talk to each other the way we talk to our pets. But we are going from our pets and celebrating them to celebrating our daughters.
Yeah.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere.
Oh, listen, I love this, and I can't wait to be a mom one day.
Yeah.
But a daughter may outgrow your lap, but she will never outgrow your heart. Now, nominate a deserving daughter for a dose of care, and they could stand the chance to win 2,000 Rand. And we can't wait to announce our next winner.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for... Gemma Titus! Yes! And she was nominated by Desiree, and Gemma's mom commented with the following. My only daughter and baby turned 6 years old this month. Aww. Now, she is the exclamation mark in the happiest sentence I could ever possibly write. Oh, I love that. Now, she brightens up my day. She brought life to a part of my heart I never knew existed. She truly deserves to win this dose of care so I can spoil her for her birthday. Oh, a dose of care, obviously, and Panado SA, the correct hashtags. And we have Desiree, a mom on the line, as well as a little princess. Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Oh, Desiree, that was such an incredible nomination. I mean, she is the exclamation mark to the happiest sentence. I mean, you're like a poet and you don't even know it. But listen, tell us a little bit more about your amazing daughter, Gemma, and what she means to you.
Well, Gemma, who is my only daughter and baby of the house, turned 6 this month. And she's incredibly precious to me. During her birth, there was a frightening moment when she had difficulty breathing due to a blockage. And the fear of losing her was overwhelming. However, she pulled through, and this experience has deepened the bond I share with her, and I'm grateful for her presence in my life. She truly is the exclamation mark in the happiest sentence I could ever possibly write.
That is so beautiful.
A beautiful miracle, honestly. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Is Gemma with you right now?
She is, yes.
Oh, can we ask her a question too? Good morning, Gemma.
Good morning.
How are you, Princess Gemma?
I'm fine.
Can you tell us what you love most about your mommy?
I love Mommy so much.
Oh, how cute is that?
Oh, it's plain and simple.
Desiree, I have to ask you, I mean, as a mom, you have spent a lot of quality time with your daughter. Do you perhaps have a favorite memory that you'd love to share with us?
Well, just yesterday, over the weekend, she was told by her teacher that she's not allowed to wear nail polish to school.
Oh.
No, last week. And this weekend she told me my teacher said I can. But can you please remove it on Sunday evening because I'm not sure. I don't trust her. So on Monday morning when I took her to creche, she insisted that I make sure that the teacher said I can can wear it. So the teacher was laughing because I said, she says she don't trust you. So we were laughing. So these are the things Gemma does and say, and she's just so adorable. And I can't, there's so many memories of her with me and the things that she does.
Well, that is special.
Yeah, it really is. I think you sum it up when you just said, I can't. I feel you there. She sounds like an absolute bundle of joy, of light, and everything that you've wanted in this world. And I hope that you can cherish this incredible relationship you have, this bond you have, and create even more beautiful memories.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Desiree, that 2,000 Rand is yours thanks to Panado SA. And now you can show your daughter Gemma some of that love and appreciation and, of course, the recognition that she deserves with a dose of care from Panado SA. Well, if you want to know how you can enter a nominated daughter, this is how. A daughter is just a little girl who grows up to be your best friend. Since daughters are such a gift of love, you can show yours how much she means to you by gifting her the chance to win a 2,000 Rand dose of care cash. Each weekday from the 22nd of May to the 2nd of June, Panado SA is giving away 2,000 Rand to a much-loved daughter. If that is a dose of care which you would love your daughter to win, enter by replying to the hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care competition post on Expresso's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages. Don't forget to include hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. Now, is your coffee at your side? That's the question, gentlemen. Let's grab some coffee.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
There we go. And are you feeling brave? Are you feeling honest? Because it's time to spill the beans.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is how it works.
It's time to spill the beans.
Okay, so before... we were waiting for that, okay? We were waiting for it.
Yes,
Anyway, this is live TV, it doesn't always...
Intro!
happens on time. Okay, so before I ask
Yes.
you the bear it all questions, can I offer you some coffee, which I've
Yes,
just done?
thank you.
Now,
Yep,
I've made us the Jacobs 3-in-1. This is the original instant coffee. It's got your sugar and creamer in it, so there you go. It's great for coffee on the go. And so with each sachet, it also contains love and trusted Jacobs coffee, and you are simply on the go by just adding your water and you're good to go.
So you don't even have to add like anything into this because it's sweet. It's got that good balance. I like this. This is convenience. This is something I could take
on a
into the
hike.
mountain.
Take it to the mountain. You just take your little flask of hot water.
Yeah. You want to join me?
I've been waiting to join you for the longest time.
He has been waiting. He has been waiting. Okay, so gents, here's
Yes.
the question for
All
today.
right.
I want the unfiltered truth. Now, if you could go on a coffee date with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
What a
And I don't want to hear about friends and family. It needs to be anyone.
You know
but
what? I
friends and
have a
family.
great answer for you, actually. And I genuinely mean this. I would love to go on like a coffee date with someone like Vladimir Putin, okay? The most controversial figure right now. Just so I can be like, check your brow. Like, what kind? Like, what's the deal? What's the agenda? What's going on? Hopefully he'd be honest with me. But I genuinely would like to just ask him straight, yo, man, like, what's the deal, bruv? I don't know.
Okay, you said unfiltered. That was very unfiltered.
I want to know.
But I just want to know, like, you know, for anyone that doesn't understand South African lingo, like if you had to ask them what kind, they were like,
I do not know this language.
well, like, what
I am not
politeness is
kind.
this?
Yes. True. No, I don't know. What you talking about? I don't know. I just go, boom, boom, not problem.
You'll add vodka to
No,
Jacob.
but I get you. You know, you'd
Yeah,
want
I mean,
to
man.
address and almost peace talk things, etc. No, I completely understand. What about you, sir?
I don't know about peace.
I would love to, and this is going to be a double coffee date, Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep, my two favorite
love
actresses of
Anne.
all time. I would love to pick their brain. I would love to. I'll probably get them to do all the talking.
You just sit there and, oh yeah, and then?
Yes, my devil also wears Prada. So for me, Jay Shetty. I think we'll definitely will have. I listened to his podcast on purpose, and I think I'd have like the most in-depth conversation about the human condition with Jay Shetty. I think it'll be so cool. We'd probably have 3 coffees in that session.
Dude, and his conversational topics are like so incredible, from inspiration, relationships, you name it. That's a long conversation you're gonna have, man.
It's the most powerful thing that he said in one of his podcasts is that, you know, a lot of things when we say we don't have time for like gym, I don't have time for meditation, I don't have time for sleep. All of those things add time to your life, and it changed mine. So that's why I want to say thank and ask him what kind.
What kind? I like that.
I thought you were doing a coffee date with Dua Lipa.
Ooh.
There wouldn't be coffee. Anyway, haven't we asked people on social media before I start blushing?
Okay, well,
Sure.
listen, let's reveal what you had to say based on our question today. Let's kick it off with Derek.
Yeah, Derek Lenny Mini says, my father and I drinking Jacob's coffee on the Expresso live set will be awesome. Hashtag with Jacobs. Oh, I love that. That's
That's how
really
you
cool
get yourself
answer.
invited to the
Yeah. We got Komotso Nchole says, I would go on a coffee date with Oprah Winfrey so that she can give me words of wisdom and some tips on how to be healthy like her, and maybe look under your seat while you're at the date as well.
Well, if I'm going to go have...
There'll be Jacobs under
I'm
there
like,
as well.
Oprah, give me $1 million. Like, what's that to you?
No, it's nothing to her. Nothing.
All right, then we got Constantia saying it would be Bonang Mateba, Queen B. She's a jack of all trades and inspiration to the young ones, and go get it. Just love her. Hashtag with Jacobs, give the people what they want.
Rashida says, I would love a coffee date with Chef Jenny Morris.
Aw.
She's such an inspirational person and lots of travel stories to tell, as well as life journeys. That is so beautiful.
I can confirm that you do want to do that. I've had coffee with Jenny, and it's the most incredible time ever. You will never be disappointed. I can guarantee you that.
And our last one is from Letlo Honolo, who says, I would definitely go with my husband. We
Nice.
haven't been on a date for more than 8 years, so I would love to take him.
Whoa,
Go on your date.
Hold up.
You
We need to change that. Yeah, that is no unacceptable. We're changing that right now. Everybody here at Expresso says you have to go on that coffee date.
Yeah.
Right now, as soon as you can. It's a must. Wow.
Okay, well, I hope you're ready to spill the beans. Then you might be our next lucky winner. So to enter, tell us if you could go on a coffee date with anyone in the world, who would it be and why? And share your honest answer with us on Expresso Facebook, Twitter or Instagram pages using the hashtag #WithJacobs, and you could stand a chance to win an incredible Jacobs coffee hamper plus 2,000 Rand in cash. For all the T's and C's, visit expressoshow.com and ask what kind.
What kind?
What
This is
kind?
good.
I'm not sure.
Jacobs 3-in-1, the perfect combination of coffee, milk, and sugar. Jacobs, the magic aroma.
A last look at your news on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's start off nationally. The Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo, says the death toll due to the cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria, has risen to 15. Dozens of people have been treated in hospital in recent days for symptoms of gastrointestinal-related illnesses. The mayor of the Tshwane Metro, Cholera Brink, was earlier asked to leave the area by protesting community members. The protesters say the area has been without usable drinking water for a decade, and the mayor is only now paying attention to the problem after people have died. Now, presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya is emphatic that SA has done nothing to compromise its neutral stance regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Magwenya said the visit by the Minister of Intelligence, Kumbuzo Ntshavheni, to Moscow is meant to prepare for a planned peace mission by 6 African leaders to Eastern Europe. Other officials have been deployed to Ukraine. Meanwhile, naval exercises between South Africa, Russia and China in February, and recent visits to Moscow by an ANC delegation as well as Army Chief Lieutenant General, that was Lawrence Mbata, have raised questions regarding South Africa's neutrality. Now on to international news. The Zimbabwean government has received 18 helicopters from Russia. The total consignment of 32 helicopters is expected to be delivered to Harare before the end of 2024. The cost involved is some $320 million. The Zimbabwean Presidential Communication Office says of the 18 helicopters delivered, 12 are air ambulances and 6 are designed for law enforcement. The handover took place at a time when most Western nations are attempting to isolate Russia due to its role in ongoing conflict with Ukraine. Now, Portuguese police will today search a reservoir inland from where British 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared in 2007. In the first formal development in the case in Portugal in several years. So police were preparing to start searches today at a dam in the southern region of Algarve, about 50 kilometers inland from a beach resort where Madeleine went missing. The operation was being carried out at the request of the German authorities, who last year formally identified a German, Christian Bruckner, as an official suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine. Now, a Tanzanian teen has won the Amal Clooney Women's Empowerment Award in London for efforts to support girls' education. The annual Prince's Trust Awards recognize young people who have succeeded against the odds, improved their chances in life, and had a positive impact on their local community. Award winner Zamana was recognized after launching her own campaign to support and encourage girls to remain at school in Tanzania through her Allow Me to Study campaign. Zamana focuses on helping schoolgirls and their parents understand the importance of completing their schooling. Every girl in my community has a dream for her future, just like girls all over the world. My dream is for more girls to remain at school, Zamana said after receiving the award in London's theatre Royal Drury Lane. Following the ceremony, Zamana met King Charles during a reception at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the winner's achievements as well. That's it for the news on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's take a look at traffic as well as weather, and here's Raul.
Thank you so much, Carl. Yes, for many of you heading on the roads this morning, let's look at our traffic update. Now, if you are in the Goodwood, Cape Town area, to be specific, there has been an accident on Milton Road, and this is before Alice Street in Goodwood. Now, the right lane towards Jakes Gerwel Drive is closed, so do expect delays and plan your route accordingly. Carrying on with our warnings this morning, and if you're in the Benoni or Johannesburg area to be specific, there's been an accident on the N12 westbound, and this before Putfontein Road. Now, the middle lane is closed and there is slow-moving traffic in the area, so please be cautious when you do approach it. Carrying on with our warnings now and moving over to Bloemfontein, there is a tanker on fire on the N1 heading into Bloemfontein. So again, please avoid this area completely until it is under control. There are services on the scene currently, so for anybody heading out to this area or anywhere on the roads this morning, please buckle up. Plan your route accordingly and stay safe. For now, though, it's time to head from the road to the sky and see what's happening the latest when it comes to weather. Yes, reporting on weather news now, the SA Weather Service has warned that an intense cold front is expected to make landfall on the west coast on Thursday, affecting the southern high-lying areas of the Namakwa region in the Northern Cape and the interior of the Western Cape. Now, the public and stock farmers are advised that cold, wet and windy conditions can be expected, and a low likelihood of disruptive rainfall that is between 30 and 40 millimeters is possible over the mountainous area of the Cape Metropole and the southern parts of the Cape Winelands. Now, the Western Cape will welcome the rain as the level of the Theewaterskloof Kloof in the province's largest dam is still well below what it was last time this year. Now, it now stands at 59%, and the Western Cape Water Supply System, which services Cape Town, also supplies water to towns in the Overberg, Boland, West Coast and Swartland areas, and it provides irrigation water for agriculture. Well, moving on from our weather news to, of course, our sunrise views. And this is our last edition for the morning. And starting us off, we've got Omni in the Kai mouth, and it's an incredible shot, snapped. Oh, wow. Can you believe this? I don't even know what to say right now. This is majestic. I can't imagine how all these colors came together for this, but I can't thank you enough for capturing it. What a beautiful shot, Omi. Thank you for this one. Nancy Govender is up next in Pennington, always sharing flawless views. And you really are quite the photographer. This is a beautiful shot. There's so much drama in this, and it's amazing how all these colors contrast but just work so well together. Next up, we got Vernon Stickland also showing off her skills. I mean, look how incredible this image is. The rays of light coming through from the sun. It looks like you're in the countryside right there. Magic stuff indeed. Hannah is up next from Durbs and sent in this video. Now, it is a fluffy one. Well, fluffy clouds at least. And people, this is incredible. The clouds are rising up, bringing sparks of light. It's absolutely glorious. And wow, this edition of your sunrise images and videos was incredible. You're definitely stepping up the bar. Thank you so much, Mzansi. Keep it coming, and we'll start it all again tomorrow morning on 063-408-8863. For now, though, let's take our last look at the temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane. The day starts at a low of 7 up to a high of 17 degrees. Umobela sees the day starting at a low of 11 up to 21. Pretoria 9 is your low up to a high of 19. And Johannesburg sees the day starting at a low of 8 up to a high of 17 degrees Celsius. Carrying on and moving over to Mahikeng now, the day starting at a low of 8 up to 24 degrees. Klerksdorp sees the day starting at 7 up to 23. Kimberley, a chillier start of 3 degrees, moving up to only 23. And Bloemfontein, even chillier conditions, -1 are your negative temperatures starting the day, and you're moving up to a high of 20 degrees Celsius. Crazy stuff, but carrying on right now and moving over to Durban, where the day starts at a low of 14 up to 21 degrees. Mthatha, a chilly start of 5 degrees, moving up to moderate 21. And carrying on around the coast now, moving over to East London, your day carries on with a low of 11 up to a high of 21 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at 3 up to 21. GQ Mobeka sees the day starting at 10 up to a high of 21 degrees. And George, 9 is your low up to a high of 21 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, moving over to the mother city in Cape Town, 12 is your low up to a high of 17 degrees Celsius. Worcester sees the day starting at 9 up to 21. Sutherland brings the chill back at 5 degrees to start the day, moving up to a high of only 17. And Uppington, from 5 degrees, you move up to a nice warm, moderate 27 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, thank you so much for sending those incredible pictures in. We'll do it all again first thing in the morning. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Raul. Well, listen, when it comes to perfume is the art that makes memory speak. And Woolies has a new sense for the gents and delicious flavors for the ladies that will boost your self-appeal and self-confidence. Now, one of my favorites is Gucci Bloom. It's the intense Eau de Parfum by Gucci, and it is a mesmerizing deep floral fragrance, a scent that will encourage you to bloom into your truest self. Now, this fragrance will give you confidence and a distinctive square bottle that just radiates. I mean, look at this, creative power and some bold luminosity. This is a beautiful bottle to go with it as well. Now, you can head on over to Woolies because they offer a wide selection of fragrances that include the new launches such as this one over here, I think you pronounce it Zadig and Voltaire. There we go. As well as the one from Burberry, Her, which is also incredible. You can shop these new fragrances at Woolworths, shop in-store, online, as well as on the Woolies app.
Here's to the coffee magicians. The ones who know what you get out starts with what you put in.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3. Now, expectations are that South Africa's Central Reserve Bank will be raising the repo rate again this coming Thursday, 25 May. But how much is the big question? That's always a guess, isn't it? So what would that mean for the average household, for your household? Now, wealth manager from PPS Wealth Advisory, Werner So, joins us on the couch to unpack this very, very intricate and sensitive matter when it comes to repo rates. Werner, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much,
We
guys.
need your help.
We need your help.
Yeah.
Because, Werner, I feel like the repo rate just keeps going up. And I asked you now, is it every quarter? And you said, no, it's every 2 months. They have the option to increase it. And that's what's been happening. In March, the Reserve Bank hiked the repo rate by 50 basis points. And there are talks that it could be increasing by 25 points. What effect will this have on our economy?
Well, if we hope it's only 25 that it will, if you as a consumer hope it's only 25 basis points.
Yes.
But people are cash strapped. People are battling out there. We didn't budget for all these increases that's been happening over the past 3 years. So people are cash strapped. People are battling.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have debt at this particular stage, it's a massive problem, but of course there's got to be something behind it, maybe something that we don't see, and this is why you've had us to unpack it for us in layman's terms. So why would any good reserve bank hike a repo rate? Why are they doing it so often? What do you think they're wanting to achieve here?
So by increasing the repo rate, they are trying to make sure that inflation stays intact. Prices are running away with us. Stuff will just getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
So trying to keep it within that bandwidth of 3 to 6% that the Reserve Bank wants. We are currently at an inflation rate of about 7.1%, and they're trying to actively get us back into that lower inflation rate.
Okay. So what are some of the things the Reserve Bank keeps in mind when they increase the repo rate? Like, what are some of the circumstances that they look at?
Well, government policy, firstly, they look at that. They look at inflation, a whole bunch of different economic factors, what people are spending, what people have available to them, what people owe on their bonds. All of the different micro and macro economic factors are taken into consideration.
We've got a bit of time for this, but if anybody is not sure about how a repo rate works, let's just say if they have a bond or a vehicle, any existing debt, and the repo rate increases, what does that mean for the consumer? Can you give us a little, and once again, a layman's term idea as to what that would look like for anybody who now has that bond, that debt, repo rate goes up, how do things change?
Well, if we look at rand and cent,
Yes.
if you have a bond of, say, R1,000,000,
yes,
when the repo rate increases with 0.5%, you will pay about 340 Rand a month more for that debt that you have, for that R1,000,000 debt. So you don't, that 340 Rand that you would have spent on food, on whatever the case might be, you now have to spend on paying your bond back. So you actually feel it in your pocket.
And that's on top of your normal bond payment, so that's just an added amount. Is there, I mean, I feel like life's becoming unaffordable. Are they going to continue to increase the repo rate, or will there be a point where it will start coming down again?
So the Monetary Policy Committee sits every 2 months.
Okay.
They just hiked it 2 months ago in March. The expectation is now again. And then we hope and we think that it will have reached the rate hiking cycle would have reached its end, and it will be stable for the next year, hopefully. Obviously, there's a whole lot of influences that can happen that that we have to increase it again. But at this stage, we feel that after this rate hike, it will stabilize for the next year at least, before it starts going down.
I need to ask you a catch-22 here, but let's just say somebody has savings.
Yeah.
And those savings are for whatever they want to do in their future. However, they have existing debt. The repo rate goes up. Now, savings also benefit from a repo rate going up, but so does debt. So do you think that somebody should take savings and plug it into their existing debt to try and mitigate some of the circumstances of a repo rate going up?
Well, we have to go look at the interest rate that's charged on this debt, and then see if you can do better with your investments.
Okay.
And obviously, it makes more sense to keep the investment.
Okay.
But definitely, if you have expensive debt, you need to pay that off as soon as possible.
Like credit cards.
Absolutely, personal loans, all of that.
And a bond? Dun, dun, dun. Sure. We have so much
Wagner's
more.
not going anywhere. We are going to continue this conversation around the repo rate with discussions of it increasing again. We also want to take a look a little bit deeper on the effects it will have on the interest rate. So stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
A great conversation. Thank you so much for that. But while there is a little bit of gloom and doom regarding the repo rate, we've got some good news for our lucky viewer. Oh Yes, Mzansi, brace yourselves for a thrilling announcement because you can clearly see we are ecstatic to share the epic news that out of thousands of entries, a competition winner has been selected and one lucky viewer will be walking away with their very own Samsung Galaxy S23 today. Now, this incredible device will empower you to capture and cherish your own epic moments. So, without further ado, let's get a massive drum roll in here for this one. Our winner is Ndabulelo Nechio Galway! Now, this is the comment that came through. It says, I've always been a Samsung fan, and for me, it's my favorite. Samsung has the best camera, easy to create collages, and is very user-friendly. Now, the space of the phone is amazing, and I can save so many photos and videos of my son. But what I love most is the battery life. Even when there's load shedding, my phone battery has my back. Hashtag share the epic. Hashtag Samsung Galaxy S23. Hashtag Expresso Show. Yes, and we have Ndamulelo on the line, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm so good. I'm even happier just seeing your big smile, man. How does it feel knowing you are the winner of the Samsung Galaxy S23, bro?
To be honest, winning a prize is always a great and satisfying experience. The greater the prize, the greater the happiness we feel. Emotions of joy, peace, contentment, felicity, and sense of achievement. On the other hand, if we don't win a prize, we feel sad and dejected.
Oh, well, look, this is a big prize, so this means you are extra happy, I'm assuming. I gotta ask you though, what's your favorite feature of the Galaxy S23 and what feature are you most excited about to try out, seeing that this device is yours?
Thank you so much. My favorite features is lens type, camera front, telephoto, ultra wide angle, and wide angle also.
All right, so let me
which is 6.1 inches. It makes me extremely happy, to be honest.
Nice, man. Look, I want to ask you more realistically, now that that thing's going to be in your hands, that beautiful device, we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy S23, what are you going to be doing when it comes to capturing a moment that you want to share with people? What's that moment going to be? What are you most looking forward to?
I honestly, I want to experience and explore the use of 5G coverage because I'm always in need of downloading big files in a short period of time.
Ah, lovely, man. Look, it seems like this device is going to serve you in so many ways. I can't be happier knowing that it's going to an absolutely deserving winner. So once again, congratulations, brother. I hope you feel amazing.
Thank you so much.
Clearly he does. You can just see the massive smile on his face, and that's how easy it is. And we haven't even finished sharing the epic. I mean, listen up. Now, we have another Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus up for grabs. So if you want to stand the chance to win, well, you definitely want to tune in tomorrow to find out how to enter. Woo! Congratulations!
Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that? Sure.
Can you send me that?
Hey, can you send me that? Sure.
Make every training day epic. Buy the Galaxy S23 series at the Galaxy Watch 5 or Watch 5 Pro and get free Galaxy Buds 2 Pro valued at $3,999. T's and C's apply.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we are continuing our discussion with Wealth Manager from PPS Wealth Advisory, Werner Rousseau, about the expected rise in the South African repo rate. It increased just 2 months ago in March by 50 basis points, and there's expectations it will be increasing with 25 points.
So I figured if you just tuned in, Werner, if you don't mind, tell us about how the repo rate affects the inflation rate, just to give us a little unpacking of what that looks like for South Africa's economy.
So the theory is that if you increase the repo rate,
Yes.
that borrowing will become more expensive and there'll be less money in the economy. So there'll be more, there'll be there's more money in the less money in the economy, and people won't be able to afford.
Why do they do that? Is it important? Like, I mean, you would think the economy, you want it to grow, you want people to spend. Have we now perhaps reached that point where people are spending too much on credit, and that's why they are curbing us from spending too much? Why do they keep increasing the repo rate?
Yeah, well, people didn't budget for this when they initially took out that bond, when the interest rate was at its lowest in COVID times. So people need to be protected against themselves.
Okay.
So the repo rate, affecting, let's just say, investments and businesses and different sectors, how are they all affected by a repo rate increase such as this that we can expect on Thursday?
So financial institutions, banks, they'll have less. They'll obviously have less loans that they can give out.
Okay.
The real estate industry, people will buy less houses because it won't be as attractive to take out a bond, and they won't be able to qualify for that bond. And then consumer goods, so everything from your baked beans to your bread, to your milk, to your fuel, everything gets more expensive. So consumer goods obviously is the industry that's the biggest influence by this.
Definitely.
Are there any industries that benefit from the repo rate increasing?
So on the investment side, if you, obviously with the interest rate being higher, then the currency might become more attractive for foreign investors because they'll get higher yield. So on the investment side, definitely, and if you have money, then definitely you'll definitely be able to.
It does feel like the man on the street is really hard hit by repo rates, but then at the same time, on an economic level, it's almost making the country more attractive to those foreign investors. So there's a bit of irony in there if you think about it, So we can't buy our bread, but come and spend on our bigger stuff, which is very, very sad to hear. But of course, we have a future that we can expect. Are you expecting this to be a natural trend as South Africa, in the midst of so many different socio-political problems and socio-economic problems, are we expecting repo rates to go up in the future? What are the global trends at the moment?
So if America sneezes, the whole world has got a cold.
Very true.
So if they raise their interest rates, we have to raise it as well. The expectation is that for the next year, it should start and stabilize, and then by next year start to reduce. The year after that, we might even get more reductions. So stable for the next year after this rate hike, and then we'll see after that.
Okay. I want to know, for the individuals sitting here and perhaps panicking because it's close to payday, so there are chances that families are now dipping into their credit cards. They are, perhaps the salary that they had is now pretty much depleted. They're operating on reserves. Can you encourage our viewers, for those who are feeling a very cash strap right now? Yes, the repo rate might increase. In fact, it will increase. We just don't know by exactly how much.
Yeah.
How can they protect themselves during this time?
Well, by budgeting. If you go to the shopping centres on a Saturday or Sunday, it's full. People are spending.
Yeah.
People are spending as if nothing is wrong. At the beginning of the month, say what you have in your wallet, and you can only use that. You can't use more than you have. Knowing that it's not going to be easier soon. It's going to be at least at the same levels.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is a thing to mitigate, but I feel like budgeting is key. you know, with regard to the money, the situation, with regard to our debt. You know, in closing, are you saying that if you have a possibility of reducing debt at the moment, you should do that at the moment, given the repo rate trends and the fact that it's going up? Can I confirm that with you?
Now and always.
Now
you
and
have
always.
to try always and reduce your debt, especially now with repo rates going up.
Even if it's with your savings?
Absolutely, yeah.
You see, that's a very, very key thing. So budgeting, looking at minimizing debt, changing your spending trends, don't spend emotionally. That's the whole principle of budgeting. And of course, Werner, all we can say to you is thank you so much for the wealth of knowledge you've given us today. And remember, when it comes to your money, we want you to stay as safe as possible, be as responsible as possible, but more importantly, with the repo rate fluctuating, budget, budget, and budget again.
Yeah, a great conversation. And speaking of budget, last week we took up a food challenge where we headed to Woolworths and bought ingredients with a 500 Rand budget. And that was to create 5 meals for a family of 5. And we put together a quick recap video just to show you how we did it. Check it out. Oh, yeah, it was such a cool experience. I learned so much in the process, and I didn't have any confidence in the fact that we could pull it off, but we did. And we didn't just do that, we also ran an exciting competition where you could stand a chance to win one of 5 Woolworths vouchers. All you had to do was tell us if you only had 500 Rand to make 5 meals for a family of 4, what would you make? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the winners. Can I get a drum roll, please? First winner is Tembing Kulube, and she said the following: pilchards and porridge, bread, milk and avos, some beans and potatoes, chicken, vegetables and rice, dumplings and stew beef. 500 challenge, booyah, done and dusted. And that's our first winner in the bag. Next up we got Cheryl Ann October, another winner. She's written down lasagna, chicken curry and roti, seafood paella, lamb stew and fried chicken with cauliflower, rice and squash. That sounds delicious. Nicely done. You are our winner. Next up we got Chegofatso, and it is macaroni, mince meat and cheese, pap, cabbage and oxtail. Ooh, that sounds good. Dumpling and meaty beef bone, pap, tomato gravy and fried eggs, and then pap and brown beans. Oh, these sound delicious. Well done. Next up, Nelisiwe Ganta says pap, pavos, gravy, veggies. Number 1. Number 2, we got macaroni and mince. Number 3, rice, chicken, stew and veggies. Yeah. Then 4, we got dumplings, beef stew and veggies, and then pap, chicken, liver, and veggies. I like the veggies here, nailing it. Last but not least, our final winner, we got Lungile, who said, I would buy mixed veggies that includes potatoes, carrots, spinach, onions, cabbage, beetroot, and peppers, tomato paste, chicken breast mince, chicken pieces, rice, and spaghetti. So that's the shopping list, and for each day she's got day 1, chicken stir fry, day 2, mashed potatoes and chicken chutney, day 3, several colors, aka 7 colors. Ah, I see what you did there. Spaghetti bolognese for day 4, and day 5, roasted veggies with chicken breast. 500 Rand challenge, done and dusted. And again, congratulations to all our winners. This is incredible. What you've put together sounds delicious, and I think it's serving Mzansi too. So what excuse do we have when budget cuts are coming through? We can also cut our budget and we can still deliver on incredible meals every single day of the week. So send us those pictures of your meals that you made with your 500 Rand Woolworths vouchers. And once again, congratulations!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and let me make that feeling just a little bit better. Now, knowing what is in the food that we eat and where it comes from is definitely important to many of us, I hope to you especially. So we've got category manager Chaka Ngubane, and he's joining us this morning to expand on the importance and the journey of Farmer Brown's Nourish range from farm to shelf and your home table. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Chaka. How you doing, bro?
I'm well, man. How are you doing?
Oh, so good, man. I literally have been consuming this product. We've been living on it and seeing how many interesting ways we can make such good home-feeling meals. I literally was out in the mountain just chowing on a snack. You'll get to see a little bit of that later, Mzansi. But it really is something that is nostalgic. I want to talk to you about how you've been involved in this process of getting this incredible product onto the shelf.
Yeah, so the process is literally understanding what the consumers are looking for.
Yeah.
What do they need? And we package it in one thing, and then we send it straight through to the guys the major retailers.
Yeah.
So it's really the crux is understanding it. What are the consumers needing? And then we put that in a big package, and then we're off to go and get it on shelf. Yeah.
Get it on shelf and make a lot of people happy, man.
Yeah.
Look here, this is something that's, it's incredible. It's not spoken about enough, but I mean, look, let's take me for an example. Coming through this like health craze, wanting to look after yourself, invest in your body. When it comes to macros, getting good protein in, chicken breasts are key. And the fact that you guys are using real chicken breasts in your product means that we can get our gains, bro.
Yeah.
On top of that, you look at things like budgets and stuff at the moment. Chicken is so versatile in making meals good, making them taste good, but also making it stretch. Now, I'm talking about all these highlights, but it doesn't stop there, bro. We've also just done something incredible. Endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and this is the first product in the freezer to fryer chicken category that has done this. So this is like huge. We should be celebrating this, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you got to this point in time, because this is not an easy feat. I can imagine there's a lot that goes into getting the stamp of approval, so to speak, yeah?
So the Heart and Stroke Foundation endorsement is a big win for us, and it's literally, we had some challenges, but it's about making sure that we've ticked the right boxes in order to package this as well for the Heart and Stroke Foundation endorsement. So we've got a great technical team, and that's where it works well. And yeah, I find it as South Africa's loved protein, and that's chicken for you. So in terms of getting that stamp of approval, it's a big win for us.
Yeah, it's a big win, man. Like, I was just sitting here being like, yeah, man, my work here is done. It must be the feeling, though. But more for me, it's, what has it been like kind of seeing this process first from that inception phase, because around the teething, all the hoops that you have to jump through and the obstacles that you face, to eventually getting it not only onto that shelf, but when you see it on the front end, you see how you can plate it, you see what it's doing for people, bringing that nostalgia back and those memories that we associate with food. What's that feeling like for you, man?
Sure. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into it before people even see the actual product image. And you walk into a store, and then you start seeing it on people's trolleys, and you're like, wow, that's our stuff. We see the reviews, the consumers are loving them. So that's just a feeling of pride, especially after a long project's timeline,
I definitely think you can be proud of that. For someone that is very conscious about what they put in their body, when someone that uses food as an investment, this is something that's ticking that box. And I'm appreciative of brands that are looking out for the people, and you're doing exactly that, ensuring that quality, ensuring that great taste, and of course, just ensuring that you're looking after and taking our needs into account. I gotta ask you, there's so much that you have done. Where to from here? What's next? What can we expect from Farmer Brown's Nourish range and just Farmer Brown in general?
So Farmer Brown has been an exciting brand that's coming back, and it's alive now. So there's a lot in the pipeline that we've got going on. Like I said, like you said, that protein can be stretched in many ways. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the feedback from the consumers, and we're looking at what is the next big thing. And that's what we're going to be bringing back to you guys,
Chuck, I'm going to maybe put you on the spot here. I hope we get a good answer out of this one. What's your favorite meal to make with Farmer Brown?
Whole grain Farmer Brown salad, all right? You got to put that on the air fryer and chop it up in nice, thick slices and bang it into a salad. It's
Bang!
amazing, amazing. That's my favorite.
All right,
yeah.
say no more. We're adding that one to the list. And brother, thank you so much again for coming through, for sharing your knowledge, your insights, and this journey that you're on. We are grateful. We are celebrating it with you. And here's to more gains, more hearty meals, and some more good food.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, brother. Now for you, Mzansi, it doesn't stop there. You also can stand a chance to win. Yeah, we're talking about winning a Samsung bespoke microwave worth 3,000 Rand, and that's with Farmer Brown's Nourish range. So how do we do this? Simply reply to the competition question on our Expresso social pages and tell us the following. Why do you think it's important to know what's in your food and where it comes from? Now, don't forget to use the hashtag Farmer Brown in your answer. And a last reminder, the competition closes on Monday, the 29th of May at midnight. Now, your T's and C's can be found at expressoshow.com. Now, what are you waiting for? Go get Farmer Brown. Go get on that salad and go get loving because your belly wants it.
Farmer Brown's Nourish Crumb Chicken Breast, proudly made with the healthiest ingredients to fuel your body with wholesome goodness. They taste so good because they eat so good.
Well, listen, joining us on the Expresso stage is upcoming Afro jazz musician with a beautiful voice, Kamba Nchika. And apart from being a talented musician, she's also a community activist. I want to know from you, how important is it for you to be involved in the community?
It's so important because as an artist, you are not only performing for yourself or anything, because I feel like as an artist, you are there to raise awareness in your community around social ills or whatever is happening in our country. And for me, that is important because we use our craft as a tool of awareness. And as myself, I use my craft as a tool for healing, for communal healing in my township, Mfuleni. So I believe each and every artist out there has a duty to educate, to motivate, to encourage the community they live around.
And let's talk about Bridges for Music. How has that helped you?
Yeah, Bridges for Music Academy changed my life. Before Bridges, in 2021, I was just in the shell, you know. I was not out there, but Bridges helped me and equipped me in the entrepreneurship part of music and also production side. So I know a bit around the studio, but not only that, it has given me platform in places where I never thought I'd set my foot in. So after that, my life changed.
Amazing. I love that. And you know what? You're here with this incredible voice. You're about to perform a song that is still to be released, if that's correct. Is it Zizinja?
Yes, it's Zizinja. I'm releasing the song on the 1st of June this year, so I'm excited about that. So Zizinja, people, when it's a controversial name in our society, when you say it's associated with bad stuff, when you say, Amadoda Zizinja, and immediately people think that. But for me, this song is actually Zizinja, Ixesha liqhathwe zizinja, which means there's no longer time to waste. Go get those dreams, go chase those dreams. So it's basically a siren, a wake-up call for everyone out there that your dreams are valid.
They are valid. Well, listen, let's waste no time. Kamba Nchika on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And here she is with Zizinja.
Thank you. Fuga kusile ilanga lephumile amafu nawamkile imvula ihambile Zizinja, Zizinja, especially Padre Zizinja, 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 especially Padre Zizinja. I was Zizinja,
ndoqa dlale buthumile lindubane ngamkwenga xesha lixathwe sisinja hayibo ndofika ndoqiqa idlale buthumile lindubane ngamkwenga xesha lixathwe sisinja. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Azanzi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And, of course, we couldn't let you go away without another performance. And we are absolutely here for it. She's been doing the most on stage, absolutely serving us, and she's going to do it one more time. I'm talking about a song called Ingasi Uyazi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And, of course, the beautiful, the one and only Klamba. The stage is yours. Take it away.
Hey, Zoom de dow 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 dow. Ongo gazi ongo eto.
What an incredible performance.
Yo, Kakaba. You must take another bow for me, please. I want you to bow because you have been phenomenal. You've been sensational. Thank you so much. And remember, Kakaba and Chika. Remember the name at a jazz club near you very, very soon. But
definitely.
Tomorrow in your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we've got something to talk about. We're building up to Africa Day. And of course, we need to ensure that we have a lot of narratives around sort of the podcast that you can follow, the influencers who are talking about African identity, intercontinental freedom of trade as well, which is good. It's going to be fantastic.
And of course, there's some important conversations. We need to see how far are we with regards to xenophobia, which is quite a big problem in South Africa. So those are some of the conversations we'll be having tomorrow.
Thank you to everybody that joined the show today. It was an absolute exceptional one. We'll do it all in the morning. We thank you so much, and we love you.
We'll talk about the Repo rape. We'll give you the music, and of course, join us tomorrow for more action later.
Another feel-good production.